Odofo me makwaba edeba Adom TV. Dwumadie we eye nkranhyensem emre. Na me amete dwuma amede dwumadie ho chia me. Edi amje so eye Apostle Dr. Nita Kotegu. Obo odi anka mepe. Yo enede me fre obi na ono so mfre obi. Ne nyina nsi nkonwa. Ne ntwa na montu we me tia we mu. Abrabo aye boye me se obi enya anka odi nkunim. Obi enya anka na abrabo edimu. Obi enya anka watetim. Ensure yako bebe nyina ye abrabo aye buntia. Suku aye ko nyina ya abrabo aye buntia. Adwuma ye nyina kyese se be betitimu ni abrabo edimu na enye yedie na asafata. Em se enu ntia na ye nyama ye nyina. Di ntia ye di akoniaba. Ye fse mfifiri se be ye ne ye prepare abrabo nyina se yedie enkunimdie ne se ye be amama. Enu ntia. Na ye nya ne kwa nya de ton keke. Enye school ko keke oba bi o ha na me share so da na me single no na me ma me se me ko ware a me ho beto me na me ma me pia me ko ware be ma bi ye fanyina me tabuom na me se enya ware etra bia na ma anije ni free wan kasa mu odo a wo na odo a ho kani wo ento wa bra bon se de ye bu no no ye nim ye ma se yo enunti the first thing you need to know and to find out if you want to make a breakthrough in life, is to ask yourself why. Adenti na mpese me din kunim. Adenti na mpese manage. Adenti na mpese mitumpun. You say, why do I need to prosper? Why adenti. Ubisa adenti na. Ubenya anu yebi. Ebechi odi opese woyo. Me bisa adenti na mpese me hyenkuran. Why do I want to motivate others? Na me anu ye say e chance nipa bi wo na butu atoba na me hyenkura me penya won wire abasoro nti adenti no na kenya me ne ye adenti na Nita Kotegu pese o hyenkura manu ye ne se pese me hyenkura na nipa won abutuo nipa won ayira brabom no mahu kwan asan apa ne gentuma afra eno na ehyame ma me ye ne o ma me yo enu nti se okowade a adeni na aware awo aduane yo adisie debi enu ye bonus de nti a se wade ne se wo po obi ane beto na montuo tintintintin agya ne ma me ni so passion se mo kombe do mo ho ma de se fata commitment se mbe kan bo mo afebo intimacy se mbe di nkita ho anapa we na yu wo do ene gye ni obuo kwaso nti adenti a eware no esa ne mama yin sa we enye sabe awo enye nkateso agro ene nya aduane abeyo adenti anu ye no ena kira na montu abetuo enu firi wa se wutimi hu ne oma apes se wo ye ni ya abrabo mu wa abrabo do tusane ani a ehe na atosin fa so apomudne fa ne se unyumam fa ne se woni ankrofo ankrankran kita hodie fano se woni ho kani kura nkita hodie fano se be woni nyankopon nkita hodie fane bono ate so ne ma woye no ho empo fano school awoko sa ne ma we nyina no emu de won na afo se atosi ana edimu se wotu ne din a ede na atosi wom name the area of your life that you want to manifest a change wow ebi aba no wadwuma mu a ebia wo pese onya promotion eba no adwuma mu a wo pese obia pa adwuma wo yo no eba no adwuma mu a wo pese wo so wo ye woni a yetime bodin e France wo yo adwuma ni papa eno ne unya adwempa sa no a e wa kan de ede yo wo pe promotion a you say wo advance in your grade ebia wo ba adwuma mu a say labor wo pe promotion a say wo school esua de na ebia wo twa degree bi ana twa even PhD bi na akoye professor bi akwambi wa betimi afaso de minute ya bi asua de na wabodni krata na akọ anim na wo so wanya promotion ebia promotion wo pe no agina adwuma wo yo no so emre be na ade ba adwuma be na atime ye ni yie obi agya adwuma to ho so a onwinwi ana wo ye no odokwan so kwan afaso ye adwuma no so betimi ma promotion ebiom so no efa no empo ni ankwankwa kita hodi a ede na betimi ayo aso kwan ben so na ne nkrofo di nkomo What are your communication styles? Obi akasa, by onipa okasa yetie no. Obi akasa, by onipa okasa omaya brabo edimu. Enti bi so say mekasa, kwan me so na mekasa, be ma woni am ben wo so ni age me ho. Kwan be so na mekasa, be ma obi am ne nam ehunu se meda odo zubampa ena ni epadi. Kasa edimu ema nipa nkita hodie. Efe woni nkrofo edi nkita hodie a omawa ese woma. Relationships are about give and take. Yesterday bia mamio, chumamio, eno nya relationship. Any self-centered agenda. Oma ni oje ena de nkabo mu a eyi. And so open relationship papa sua kasapa. Sia kwasa hu ehwa. Kasa bufo nim, kasa oye onim, kasa werego nim, na mom sua kasa ehyenkuran. Kasa edimu a egina wodoso. Kasa asabi enam obuo kwaso na mpo suanse woma na wogie eno na mama mpo wadimu ewo ukita hodie mu eba na wapo mudini mu a eno be ha ese woyo emre be na otimida emre do so na odo bo meken oda be no ndum yenu no so no miensa wonae obo oda no ndum yenu no so no nan wonae de na ode wabra boye onipa bia wanyina asase so bia no wanti mi anakura da no hwere nsia ne wotwe upap mudnia and yes we see and say I want to be healthy, I want to be well. I know I want to, but there are steps you need to take to be healthy. The first step is to manage and monitor your sleep patterns. The second one is to monitor what you eat. No me komu na ne be na odi anapa dokrono chinam awia gobe enumere gobe enya duano no. You must take a balanced diet. Aduane a edimu ahan wo mu enampa wo mu enempo nuane se carbohydrates wo mu na sade wo mu na ese wa di balanced diet. Ebiom se so automatically wa pom your friend exercise no na ujai adwinfi na adwinbone edie. Don't let worry or complaint possess your mind and adapt a healthy lifestyle. Where sa nema we are abrabo bedin kunim ewo empo apomodinem fam. Enti abrabo ayeboyi na okwa yenya so bedin kunim ohunam so bedin kunim ewo nkita hodie mu so bedin kunim adwumam so bedin kunim apomodini ho ewo nioma asesa woyo na mgidi se watie bi enede onyame nka ho na ne amakan fa ya adwuma se ba no apomodini mu se ba no ankwankwa kita hodie se ba no adwuma mu a nioma bi ho a enye enisu keke na motwa mfoni wo ni so a ese wo ye ehu nioma tu na montuo na ye di adwaro ana meja wo me da Adom TV adwumakofo nyina ase woni ebo machi do madwumade ba ho na mada won so a onya mmerɛ hwɛ me ase koso a hwɛ bejam dwumade mi ediam je so Apostle Dr. Nite Kotego me krawa na me se woni onyame entina
ya mwache mwa kwa Badom TV bejam so na ya pamwacha osenne kase no achare kakra na yadanite Kotego aseni nkwanshense menen so de befa mu maye ensam ne to dwa mu bi ya wobeti ni Rastus Asarodonko na ebo eye Legon law student abaso said they won so de won ho ahye galamse kun no emu no de to amanyofo se wonya se wodo ho fodofore mu no eno ho nsam no ye de bebro ye bekọ ahwea so Paramount Chief ya wo ho nso Science and Tech and Technology Fair wapa ho ntoma wo Atoye North and as a Western North Mantam no emu sebe yesuafo ebenya so mfaso no ne nsem bi na no pay me de browse Adom TV bejam kase wo share live on Facebook/Adom TV Extra Go TV channel 119 DSTV 280 ko YouTuber Adom TV 2 media fia amankwa tamaklo afia ni de bientie se den samni chemu no etie environmental journalist Rastus Asarodonko wo multimedia adwuma mu ene wo bo University of Ghana Law School for no International Human Rights Law class 2025 for abasopa so so do ho ahyemu bi bodawuro afa galamse ho ne ho sunsan so bone wo yeso eno achi so won mo sra manyofo wonya so wadan na manyo nsem no ne ehwe emfa no kura ntodua no kura da na boa yen se o man Adom kase etwaso
nia law students yi o maye no ebura adwene ne ntiase so ene Ghana ye nyina ye dan ye ne afri galamsey ho but eyade bia edi nya enne pa galamsey no de enti ayenti bia ko ayenti minjai no ne nyina ne se aban mu mpanyimfo amanyofo bi ensa hyehyase a ebinum wom a omo ye adwuma enne ya me no gina hai ye wo forest reserves bi wo ho a yenim se eye amanyofo bi a omo wa ban mu a omo wotumi yi ene hye ho a omo ye adwuma se saade no anyaye a aban akua hodo te se minerals commission EPA enom ne ade water resources commission omo ntimi nya omo adwuma
Enwechi, Associate Professor Kwajoa PJ ya wono ewo School of Law, enso so de to just say.
Ensi wa sisia no biti se oma petitions, oma na campus nyina ma nipa bebre atwotwo se omutia galamsey no. Enti ye kan nyina bom, ya ye bi nso online, ayenya ye nyina boye we ya more than 6,000 signatures. Enti ye kan nyina bom, ne de akọ aban ho, ne de bi akọ parliament, ene ade se ne students na kani. Ubeya ho den e bia koma political parties no so se na beya omo manifestos ni ade a sa ne man nyina bebam na yetu anamo afa galamsey we no ho na yetumi atutu ase afiri oman no
Maitwa kasiye no so na paramount chief ono wasahwi anwa so traditional area ye oje ahoho ya ojebi otosumienu ne Ghana Education Service ani Ashanti Gold bibia ni limited for aka onho aboma power science and tech fair ya botaye se wonde eboa ewo science technology engineering and maths mu ewo school for ye wo Western North mantam ne mu
the team of Papa was at Medium, sending what you say, empowering tomorrow, innovators today. There's a say, you say science in the crowd mind. Or might be at science anymore, or man and quenim. They say, and say, Utimima, Mabun, and I say school for to me, a body. I friend of science and technology. I say, no member, watching, and I say, if you work on, I did a piano, a bequee. So, Omo dim dear oil, science and technology, a bois, a man or man or a
General Manager wada Asante Gold Corporation ano Steven Asante Amoa nimdie ene tai oje ahoho science and tech fair no echi wachire mu se Asante Gold Corporation eni ajepa se wonum enya kwanya wo ba be so se adwumadi no asene.
At Asante Gold Corporation, we firmly believe in the transformative power of education. Our operations at Cherano and BBN are more than just mining activities. They represent our dedication to fostering sustainable development and creating opportunities for the youth in our communities. By investing in education, we invest in the future, ensuring that the next generation is equipped with the knowledge and skill necessary to drive in
Maitwa Kasiano so na kanema mpeni John Dramani Mahamo ye Franka tunima NP NDC amanyokuo no na wose na ye pass ye kanema mpeni John Evans at Mills ni nimdie ni nyansa woduo ni nyina no ene ye kan se de atwamu nanso sabre yi eye bra ye hia se oman ye betumi aboa ye ene NDC JEA Mills Memorial Heritage eye ne 12th anniversary ya won ade nhwiren ekogu ne naso wasumdue park na kanema mpani John Dramani Mahama den semi etudwa
that we have to make reference to our dear former president in the past tense, especially at this time when his vision, his direction, and his values, which he had in abundance and which Ghana so desperately needs, are in such short supply in our country today. My boss, Professor Mills, was a selfless leader. He prioritized the needs of the nation over his personal and any political gain, unlike the situation we see in Ghana today.
Chairman Emma NDC Amanyoko no Johnson Esedun Ketia enso edi tudwa se project awodo bi Atamils kanema mpeni a wenya ne baby eko o hya ase no MPP Amanyoko yi ebae no wo magani nina ato eno nti no manfo enhwe nto abane mom omo ba wo mo beba beto aso.
He left us a legacy of a new president doing everything to continue the projects, ongoing projects that are left over by the predecessor. The haircuts we are suffering. If we had listened to Professor Mills, I'm not sure we will be there. Because refusing to continue the projects of predecessor government means that all the monies invested in those projects have simply
Adom TV
gone.
Badwam kase na hana bema kwan na no pay ye de sie ni ada wase emre ni adaje koso a wadaroma na ne yentna fe ni ye de ubon krata no ene de online stories abanso ye de toaso ma wo rade ho so fa nko se wo pie dia ne mum wo share Facebook/Adom TV extra ebe yenda na se YouTube Adom TV tube ye kwaba wakwa babie mra Adom TV Badwam jumede no eso wa fe na fidie no de ato ha no yeda wase papa pa ne ade nyame ase se nenso ate ase for me no mienu ye ka ho bi ye area no mu ho de nsuo no gugu ya ahomachi no mu ye sure se ablaje so saanete ba wo ba ka price ne ahana de we dry na ba ni nyina ye saane nyankopon ye na ade me sure se bia babia won so nsuo no gugu wo ho kakra ya sha se wo Badwam so ye wie pe agudie mu nsem beba na health tips no ato so ahosepe beba na fe nsema hodo bi ewo ho se medical ne pensem mu ato so mene Benjamin Asante Dakon se ben ejere na so anope be me na anope ye mu achen
ya me dofo
intense
sa me ni de me tima me de say ai aba nkola nyu mi kra be on the 6th day of Christmas my to last
ne we de
we don't tell the babo
nyame asa de atuma bibia ye kama no
bibia
ti no ani age
edi we di kra no about the bibia kama
sa oh de obedi nso de obenya
de obedi nso de
sa ade atwe no nko ade ye wonna kom
de obedi nso de obenya just an pay na me share me yonko ba ko a o hwe menim dialysis ya o ma me ho adwumi ka say chema meko ya ibi be fama kwam dia meko Chama meko
ya semo system no mo ye hada ma obi a enu story bi Adom news ye kwabla ye nwanwa se obi ne ba asin se wo unua ne me nti wo ba me mani abre pa se mpesem ko Canada me ko na Canada ne so be kwa omto mu hia sika be 150,000
ende omo no mo twatwa to
nti omo na atwa to na wo ba no na mabefa no akra 6 years okoton no wa discard de akọ ewo central hei nka ka so a ewutu o sa ehonom no na ya che no nti nkomodidie boys nipa ye wild kire se ni nua bakura no ode ne kwa bibia wonwene ho ni focus ni nyina no so obekọ Canada na so se Canada hokra wo kokra ho an wo kwa akoso ye ne so se ye no kure so otua sika ne ma se de ode ne kono a obetimi de na kwa na sase na no so kra ye ntinka akra na de odi ni papa echi akra 6 years odi na chi sa ne papa because ye be fie o papa nua ye o papa 6 years baby aho kire akwa koduro ti nipa ye bibi kra wonwen ho na nti wo hwe akra na nim wenke wo be wie ye ne no na be china hwehwe akra no ono kra ne be di mo hene ye nkwa ha ti se nyankomodie ne ko pie boys yes what in the picture nyina akire se bibia ye ready
okay nti ana pay de meka no se emma ornyame num ye na ye desperation levels no and ye frustration levels no anko dum pempen so a ya nkasa kra ebeti metwa yense ba akwatom ti de meka no onyame emwaye na ya ho hihia mre no entimi ankwa anko dum pempen so kra se esi di adanse kurumu efa ye yere ho efa ye ma ho efa ye maame mo efa ye papa ho onyame manem pare ko esumru de edru ewiase ba esese wo no hu se wo hyiemru de o masa akwanya no bedu ba bi nso a yesre yankase ya no yesu ye kan bi o go ye nyanti ase still abra but we have to go through some phases nti ase de bia metra na meka bo so me watwa eku ahodo nko abe enu watwa ntoma be edu you complaining about how chire na ntoma no kwa no say 3 years ade pam top and down cabernet slate no say 150 kra 150 kra na wo tontoma ahodo enan ekuo ayi omoko uwi atele ni wajo ofu for 100 command o de ye 400 command ndi ampa ebrani mu na ho saa itu wo se ebrani mu na ho saa de bia metra makazi na so wa hyehyɛ ho ye kakra kane na odi kosua create na otwe a na obiem kakra ko na otwe be miensa na be mi no you cannot continue to live the same old life and complain that ahochire also tom sardine na wato kosua na wasa to sugar bread na wasa to corn beef na nyina afem prekope also say ahochire wo mesere mo ampa obia ni achi said ye sumi dru nipa no e na waka for example odi amazisi a enye se wa body trim na okan asi eti bibia ni wa far away from us as before can na wo say obi ahwere ne yira so Ghana ha ba ene no ya yire ho a enye news bi can na bo so obi akuku obi atwa obi hey Ghana ha wa anya careful a o de Ghana ha sara no me phone so ti mesre pa ese untu mo ne phone so a na okra no so wa ni na so wo mo na utu no ti mesre erade masa sa ho hehia ho bi ne ba eti ma wo ye nioma bi ni kwan se wo ye nyina o ma ne mpare ye because ento wo a obaka se o kan sa keke ti se eto na wanya obi anyina me si obi hwedem be so o ka kire se ebe ye wate ka wakoma to just that word ebe ye wate o de ka wakoma to e unya it was hwe dan no four corners se o hwe ba bia mfa no pay erade me ka kire ebe ye
kunim se me sa ma ba ko bi university student I'm say level 100 Kumasi. That's what block it family bia obia because who say so obia penasem wa block you obia same say teacher bia ne SHS teacher bia yes wo penasem pa dem say family no
ekohu no
a friend say na ekoso ti so obehu no ti no so kro friend kro na wanya no because wa block you obia anti message no Sunday dem say koye na obie no on ne kasa
ya radimani si eyi ho ehia ne ahokyere di ehia ne ahokyere me say sa enua ya mo se rodwum fofora ba obi nya waye
oje
yeah me catch ra o enya dia eye se nyina no na esika kokko wa hwe ya obekwa akohwe obi aduane awodi e dia homti akoto bi adi na obehu se problem wo nya dia ese nyina na esika kokko
because yeah how no fa no mabo
yeah careful
and we hu ni say come afefe sa
afia no question say yan so to pressure pa me hu mabunu no ne abrabo na aka nya mabunu biem ye nyina ya to pressure ma ye hu etu be hu say obi ehwe subi e ko social media o hwa na mo bi obi ti o say on so person misrawo yan fa da krope ampa yan fa da krope ensi dankura o ana say room whether room or room in fact one day dako it be any possible we don't chebia obati mashase wati minka anchebia obati bo se onyam ya ye bia mana brosona mia me so ba fa bi mu ama na wo se ba fa bi mu na ko pie mo fie bi na o ma me hu se ne ba wa wo ni wa trope complete awe se na otu nyina yi gu foma
mo me nto ye bo
Ati eboase.
Na yire ho de wo ye na ye ni.
Ba ho beso kwa abrochira. E kwan bebre wo e de kwa abrochira. O de school di wo ko. Ye o de obi bra invitation di wako. Ye o de ekuo bi tu kwa obede ho be dom a obesere mo obekọ. Ye o de wan so bepe na o de won krata akọkire ye o juma do bekọ. Bebre na o de o koton ni pa di akwa abrochira. Na o te wa ho beto. O de ho ampa wa koton akoda no. Na o de sa
o ye ton keke so o ton no kwa de am obi na oni pa tete no.
O de na me so wa koton no. Ana odi sika na kwati na play mu ana woko de wa de wa
na nipa wa body ti ko de ono bibi mfa no sa
nipa ntese krama sebe wadaroma nipa ntese krama
na nipa watimi akum obi na no wato obi abo akwa ne ti ase no problem
ya kase ko back and forth ya kasa be wa me ka o se fia da china sectorial debate
yeah
de bro ewo eye Accra Digital Center honom mpanyifo mienu ana ejina parties akukudam ya nemu na omo ne yedi nkomo afi ekuoku ahodo a won wa pomuden ehu nimde no so e ba be kan ehu nti o be ka me ni nuan mo afi amakwata makro na kwasinsia
near Timedi and Como Kama. Into be a canna semi, course and be on your busa. If you are no panun, Siacopim, a year and a panon doom pemuno, near the Jubedina Banawi. It is a sectorial debate and contabu and a man you come in on the boatre. And then you made any day, your mammy, your sister, in your by office, a Joyce Muktari Bauer, and a between Kobo, and your pension Breno. Namia Duma, Meminda we are. NDC man you couldn't a Tiffy Mantem. Then Omoquayo, and see who's Adian. Nafi, NDC, so this I didn't want who do I can you that to Jamai. Nafi, come away, dear bro. Mara refused to fair and they Jose Pepper brother, who can see a bro, Apomudi, very important, critical. And the Apomudi won't come also, and so Eddie abroad. Protect my little lungs. And also,
you know, so now if you're doing a funny lungs, now blocking up. If you're running to me, Yamian Fefiani and Yan Tama, na or 1 anonymous here. Tim Force, Banner on to mean only dear. What you say?
It's about what you do, the workout, and the my whole quite enough is the bill of my amount, quite bad 2 minutes. We are more sweating my friend, but may shall and the fear for number to Japreco
0302 211 701 702 703 704. 030211 701 702 703 704. Yes, time no crash. And to the Ashumpo.
Daily guide pay. Nana Chrim Dintia, and who hears all their judge for be a coca one a war, a court casim. At Tamilson, so another 12 years. And this Amanu Kuno at to an come. I mean, who is a team was a pinch, and who's our Adom News, Eddie Hujuma. Now, fame, a buy so, I deliver 1,000 homes, ama security agencies, because you're punk man for you one say. A fay, don't come as I. Oh, at the end, Baumia. Please. Only if you bet imagine across on a year John Mahama, a bidding guitar, and as a Anobaba, Debbie. Don't come on at this answer with Eddie Atuja. A fay, Supreme Court also adja to say. And the omiji jina etiamra etieti obo say e ka se Canada leja ye hona ko beat but any na aka Supreme Court upholds law against unnatural canal knowledge metrasa me de sanchire mo e de ebebro ye ko anasa
ye kwa no nti ye nkwa na agudie mo nsem health tips and twaso.
Right, fantastic morning. I was saying, I'm sorry, I got you on some there, bro. Some Yana Dosso, there's a fantastic and Pabia, Yachinikufuna, Yadiaba, Yabani say no, na, yes, ya concon, ya Jehom Bambana, your Spanish garlic mixture and capsules are pay for Frabe Tobono, and Bribia, the air papa, and your bone dero at the chair was Spanish garlic mixture and capsules by Bia, Bako. Na drugstore team hono bowura mo ko drugstore na so pe Spanish garlic mixture and capsules na amonse mu nibia ntade hobium dan say drugstore papa bi okrumu bia no pacho Spanish e hono mo and ban hypertension arthritis also odare wo hwam nkromo krodo ni nyina no Spanish garlic mixture and capsules to bia udware wia na honam kekao ni nyina Spanish and of course bo wa timze wa yekese aboroso Spanish a dress from Faso Bibre become for a day amount. Ginkgo capsules and also Spanish for and a day abba and of course my anti-aging and Torabia Bika Crabia no refi inano. The patch of Spanish ginkgo capsules also be here for my bomb number at the amount of Tamuchuku na a copebito or your drugstores also be new got to be Tamfabigo. None necessarily be at all, but they be new on Tadia or Hobium. The area friendly games are across Europe and Enra Chelsea about draw or more friendly game on the PM so the more teams yes Chelsea for so Chelsea at the draw on Chelsea na emu Edian and the Abatombe Fanesa and Tigusu di other matches now so HC and Chelsea and then Wrexham and a friendly game on a PM so and at Danchen Arsenal and Bournemouth and so both friendly game a banner you know na 1-1 and Arsenal winning on penalties and only the course so Enra friendly games anymore. Never twice so but Enra one other games of course was the 2024 Olympic Games special and I said main opening ceremony in the Ochana and yes but Enra na share football na say kopie mu some of the games they show na wa husani ese quiet na Morocco and so Argentina. Matthew goes to one what a start. You heard say the other reps and so me at African Musa and now Yankopi when mana from Canada and New Zealand, na border France, ni Colombia, so they are Bueni, Germany, ni Australia, USA, ni Zambia, African reps in there, na face Spain, ni Japan, not Nigeria, and in Brazil, and so they are winning. What a game. And as I game, and so I send on some Bessiacora. You feel Yanama mine so now, you have female head here, Costo, and Sunny Becofino, Shadasumam says Spanish ginkgo capsules, bois ama Cambia sono, or blood flow nakuye. The same way Janidia Fusane, form, no red brain, Nimo Kama, Ninano, Spanish ginkgo capsules, and of course, anti-aging, go our D20, Unas, 55. I didn't even get somebody in the toss when you come out. Spanish ginkgo capsules, so I don't know you can afford the amount of pay. And I copy more. And some this week about 2 more. I know, the Ghana Paralympic Association about 2 more some athletes be a copy more Norway. I Charlotte Makoma could do back on a whom be on fat back or so. I'm an something which is the very more signature press. Simon money a forged signature near the day. Acquire Sembe and Sports Minister, Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, then some more to get children. No way for you embassies. So, Sabi, your boss of one and some of your bombi. Now, I'm for the Grata Begum and some of him on person two can call baby. I'm a crying and swam someone can go to Mirikabia and swam someone call marathon bia. No more to me, I'm more visit. We are my Samakoba. I'm saying Bomber Chabacase, Yanni for you, and ya for you. Only about 2 when you Sabi. That was some more head gain here. What if it's an able moment on our Sports Minister?
So the ministry were not aware about any, and the team that went wasn't also representing Ghana, as it has been reported in some of the media. So the Norwegian authorities, that's the embassies, to never even had the opportunity. Normally, even the Ministry of Youth and Sports, we don't issue letters directly to any of the embassies. We normally will write to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, for Ministry of Foreign Affairs to then work on our behalf to any of the specific embassies or missions. I just want to use this opportunity to appeal to all the embassies and high commissions or consular offices that anytime they get any requests from any federation, and without the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration and the Ministry of Youth and Sports supporting documents, they should verify from the ministry before they take. Failure to do so, they do so on their own risks, because I could have only taken responsibility if they've notified, they've followed the protocols. The protocols is, if you want to go and engage in any competition, or even if you are not representing Ghana, you are just a federation, and you have your own competition to go and compete internationally, you follow protocols. You write to the National Sports Authority. Then the National Sports Authority will write to the ministry. In this case, I've just told you that nothing of such nature happened until I even got the reportage. We didn't know. Secondly, the Norwegian authority who issued the visas to the athletes didn't see it prudent to even verify from the ministry, because to see whether these are athletes, genuine athletes or not. So to your question, whether I'll take responsibility, I'm sorry, I can't. So the ministry.
They are called and seven moves. And someone to be in town, I want to take responsibility. No, what was that? Be so much ready. A day echo.
They are not representing our country in any of the tournament because we were not in the picture. The Ministry of Youth and Sports then transmits the communication to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration to facilitate the acquisition of relevant visas and appropriate embassies and consulate office. But I've just explained that. So we should state that we are working. We want to assure you, the media, that even though it has come to our attention, even though they were not representing our country, but once the reports indicate that they are athletes, it is important for us to be concerned. So we have asked the security agencies to investigate, and once the investigation is concluded, the report will be given to
Right, Honorable Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf Ninsama de Chu, I don't know. Sansam in Yanni Bidia Chile, piano, and I want some of the Abreu. I am twice to the Ghana Football Association. I launched the 4th edition of the KGL Foundation Interregional 17 Codes Championship. Wakra. We say a day boy on it talents about my future competitions near to me. I dear pa. So competition shall say on the 25th of July to the August 8th. It's an and associated Ghana Football Association Executive Council member Randy Abe. Now what you might send somebody to journey.
The KGL Under 17 Codes Championship was conceived as a platform to promote fair play, teamwork, and sportsmanship among young players. It provides a competitive environment to showcase and improve the players' skills, fostering regional unity and camaraderie among different regions. It encourages healthy competition and mutual respect among participating teams and offers potential scouting opportunities by local and international clubs. Interactive sessions facilitated by seasoned professionals remind participating teams of the importance of education and personal development alongside their football careers. This year's edition will be held at the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence, Pram Pram. The center has seen significant enhancements over the last couple of years and is now hosting several of the GFA's developmental programs. Thanks to the continuous support of KGL Foundation, the following will be awarded. So this will be the prizes, the awards. Top scorer, best player, best goalkeeper, and discovery of the tournament, in addition to the first, second, and third place teams. So we'll have the top scorer, an award for top scorer, best player, best goalkeeper, and discovery of the tournament. So there'll be 4 individual awards, in addition to the gold, silver, and the bronze.
Right, and Tiano Randy Abe, Executive Council member, what here to Dra Ewo Jumadi na say Enquedim Ekopimo Awards and for the Black Stars of Ghana na no Mashamo qualification na see na Ekopimo Award Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. Ye hwese kwamia se bekwedim World Cup qualifiers din so no Mali gisha na hoboko. Sanso na the second game Central African Republic and so gisha na hoboko. Emmanuel Ajimamadu former Black Stars player say modern mopan ya shase ogiri se otado be build a good team for Ghana.
I think the future is bright. Me coach no oyobia ma monitor na hu say ye man etama obetima build the team amaye. Na when was the last time we say Blaster we need 2 matches at Waso. Na ye ready beji o kakra sa na etimanya a win. If you away kra no it's not easy say betima win it. Until gradual no ye hu say nyema ekoye ebe ma boys no confidence abasro kakra. But listen, team no ye wonyema bebre ye wom. We have a lot to do in the team. Coach no akọ asan abanti onim loopholes we team na oni baby a say obifu nti how the major ama no Andre every team no coach no ne pressure na obey no say 2 matches and no say 1 to and no ye hwe ye ko yanim no kwan a obefa so de naba Andre Obia he's been in the team for more than 14 years o experience o na fama o the man national team na obi anim na you can't write him off so friend so mbebo I know say he is willing and he will give 100%. So one friend na on him say team na ya mine dia obi a odene sabe friend bia he will support it. But listen, coach na ye di sika kofa na ye tua na woka no on the so personal obetima ka say this is the kind of place we here. So ko na ne man ko yi a or the squad ne ba ye betima scrutinize it. After scrutining or the aba wie yentimi nya hwe. If Bibi coach trigger na Bibi coach here, then we criticize him. That is the fact. But for now, dear, I'm saying no nyajma because in all no no say Ghana first. We need to respect the decision of the coaches. But I think Andre is free guy. His mind is free. Whenever he have a call up, he will come. If he doesn't have a call up, he will support the team. I think the
all right, I think the future is bright. I don't know someone Emmanuel Ajimamadu Baduni Kanika. Former Black Stars player, or the year to our Honorable Makacha, says Spanish garlic mixture capsules and a Spanish ginkgo capsules. So, copy audio Spanish SPARNIS. And don't be yachro. So, we need garlic mixture, no? We need garlic capsules. We need ginkgo capsules, no? And the general well-being of Nipediano. And see, Abribia, so Spanish garlic mixture and the capsules. I can't want patch 0266. 114111 0266 114111 11 operedo atua fre na kwambia so no etundodo drugstore bia obenya Spanish in Roibi ato Sergio Manocho Bernard Padibo twa me producers ya na wakaide nankasa kankejwa ne ho Erica Siedu Bwadini sabre me no kasa ide afiama nkwatoma kula kradwa wode apomune onsam etwa so me patro na ya wode ochine fieda sectorial debate baso ene ekọ akohwe sane enema city or health monti health de hu hia pa nti yina yin shewa Accra Digital Center na yin fadwumadie no enhyehyɛ so afia so mo yɛbɛsan to aso kɔso ahebedwam
memo akwa benen so da se wo hwa Adom TV Badwam health tips na wotwe mu yankomo ni nyina no ede fise na wotwe mu yese yehwɛ protect our little lungs nkranketo ani na esu frɛ won na eno wo agya se yemmo ya ahrawa no ho ban wame o me so a kakra nkukuru ni nyina mfama no fufuo tim na utum za kore wontim fufuo na ade mma no ti ekotua no ho mia yi wani kakra bu beba onti ase se me bai me de neto na o ya fe me bai me hu no won ho me o ye sei afi wo na na bi wo ma me bi on kan bi hye na ekobo ne baye ye tie nkomo we no se nyina e me ye ni da ho hu se okay se bi ese ya be ese mo me ni na ho fasedama endpoint homeopathic clinic ninti ene ye pia ye di san komo ehu yen about time mesro ye ntie ne ye pa enye se wo hwa na woni di nti wo ba no woni di nti wo be force no amono so didi oba pa grace kwam our registered nurse o piku kolebo ene me kase ye that's pa na yenhwe prevention but even before you be call no say me bana ma wono no ma be feeding na wie na me jana to ho I think say yes here was say bia wo feed akra wie kra me say wo so wo de wo bono na wo ye bibi kakra eno so to me call say na in case ye feed wo mo na ya anye de wo say ye na ye do mo to ho
nkola no wo feed wo mo ria for 10 to 15 minutes wo de beto kom na wa bo ne chika kakra wo ti say we kisewa
okay
now the not what the netto no so me fa no into on ne yemse
okay
fa netto ne side sanya say eduane no o fi bi kra enkonko gu na hrawa no
okay
nti o de netto ne side now the pillow achoke no no da ho eno ne sa no so o fi kra on ko aspirate na the asem abro
okay no okay say enye sie wia before I bia enen nyame andom ma be hwa Adom TV na mo kan we ya kire me ti mi wo fi a ehona na menye dey in case ebi anuane na free ni hwini mu bibi ye no ase ne home ne hye dance so a ede na meye
nya obetumi ara ne se wo de ne be ba hospital
okay
se ukoye na wanom bleach ana omua pacho memma no ye friends palm oil memma no engo men ka se memma no ye friends bidie fane bra straight up because ukwakoma no omana ebe manafe na efie nechi no ebi kogu ahrawa ni mu a wa ha kola
see enim so mo fede ana sa de na ba poison we say de na pie
most of the time omo be try so mo fe no be hu na kogu ahrawa ni mu yenya bi wa hasa be say mienu miensa
okay
omo ma omo no mo dwen so omo ma no na wa fe afi do fi wie no ohomiensi so na wo say omo sande ne ba
wow
the best thing is what in beba na omo mo nimdie no ombe hwe ne ombe ya ma
okay ti yen hwe den na ye be prevent ye mofra na free sa how you
so mame fuo no ye mankola ne duane a ye nya abotre okọ 50 centimeters kura ko twa ne ho a obesan aba bedi ye nya abotre se me pente me kwakoye ma ade because se ekogu hiharawa ni mu a obesan abetena ha ha kra obetena ha ma na che nti obenya abotre na afi nsuso ye a ye position ye mba ni se na me kan ye no ode ne oniti enda wo nsa ha se na ne fuma ne wo fuma ntare na manage na wo hwe nanim utumi kra ato dwoma no na wo ma no na afi nso omo a ye forcing kola grandmothers almost say by force o sa kola cap back na me dia ma no na npacho ma ye njai because ye obi ho an se no wa bewie bebi a onwie
ene ochna ye de bewie ye da se papa pa mesro ye ntie futu we ye na emoaye ochna nso nyame ya Adom aka ye ho na ye ntie enche 5 minutes die obetimi atia nsampo na baby a walk on what you may akọ Fasedan my point homeopathic clinic ninti eni edisa nkomo we nti ya bia hawadwene fa Dr. Boateng so personal doctor obejo so na watio ochena nkwa hoden ho a ebeto so Say yamo akwa baby mra Adom TV Badwam dwumade no so health tips ne de awie no kyerɛ Nyankopɔn yɛ adoma ka yɛ ho yɛ abatan no nkɔmɔ we no week mu akɔma yɛ mpa sɛ wo force oba ma na didie unnim ehun sunsanso be wie kyerɛ ne kokuma koda no yɛ mpɛ ne sa ti akwa ne di sɛ de kora no a ya no ho abotre kakra obedi sinse yɛ be force no na akɔgu ne lungs mu a kotua ne ho me de na kɔ anɔpɛ nso yɛ nya akwanya sɛ C4C homeopathic hospital Dr. George Siama Jr. Ewa ha anopay wo he address ye nchen dia ye be kasa fa ye liver no ho hepatitis and a doc say ne ye ni ho enkomo ntinyi free ha enche 10 minutes bi watie bibi dia boko to dwom na adekọ na tumi abo dog ye mo ache mo akwa ba na bibi abokọ dia I will top no nya bad that's it why fe pa that's it na Dr. Penin so no ye
Yankofa no ho ye pa
eduma mu so koyi
Yankofa egusu kaka
enyame ase Liverton
yes liver tonic yes special formula for the liver yeah
then the liver no na ebo ho ban
and yes empo say o liver problem nko it's just to support to liver no ti liver no is a very important organ yeah me gidi say e be di ho nkomo pa yes
But my inti we no penso.
Yes, you can hepatitis. Hepa no ejina homa liver. And hepatitis here inflammation. Nti na che say e kaboma ye inflammation of the liver. Ti brebo no ahonho no. Na brebo no yes a very important organ and say the largest internal organ e woni pedua mu. Na ye hwe ye ni pedua na anatomically no e wo your right hand side. Into upper quadrant and as upper part of the abdominal cavity and the in rare cases be our left side and also a condition your friend cystus inversus and another time you be a home come yes but liver is a very important organ nejuma no doso your friend be detoxification I just say boa efi ni peduane mu yeah you be busy your friend deamination just say break it down amino acid na oxidizing or na ma energy it's a very important role produce protein mean say albumin who here is say any pedua no your pressure be we any pedua ma say balance the friend on cortic pressure any kwan say ba form bebre a nsuo be gina any pedua no until liver no produce albumin no na eboa to regulate that as also boyen say pra na produce some special prothrombin make up prothrombin na be say fibrinogen fibrin nyoma bi a eboa na ema bleed excessively nti na aboa na ama omoja no aka esi na bleed excessively nti liver no ejuma bebre it is a hotochima due to inflammation na e dey how abrani pedua no so yeah
Adom ma yento so na yenhwe biye ya ebe ma ye liver ho atochima na ya mo ho ban so a ebi ade emeko
yes you the friend viral hepatitis wo naturally say caused by virus nti your hepatitis A virus wo to E ni nyina no cause problem for the liver yeah say na covid by na viral na covid virus no na otena your lungs ni mu nti your be friend tropism virus BT say hepatitis A B C D E virus no omo pe liver ni mu na omotena nti so onya kwan betena ho a na wa liver no ahonho no your be a friend vertical transfusion and I say transmission na che say bia ma me betimi dia ma ne ba abra wo no and I say true sweat ye di agro titiri ya yekobo ball no but once you are royal jersey na dia ma we so no so nhye bi nti onye vaccinated na virus no mu a obetimi a transfer mo bi aside that no your lifestyle so a etumi ma your liver no inflamed
okay.
One major thing is excessive intake of alcohol. liver no ewo special cell bi wo ma your friend hepatocyte eno na se efin eba liver ni mu a na ekle ni nyina enti se oye adwuma bebre saa na afi wa bre nti excessive intake of alcohol emwa sedentary lifestyle yeah you did too much of fatty foods no processed food and also emwa then medications be ayeta no where they make because and then a lot of aphrodisiacs aba nti wo say wa combining drobem yenum yensa all these things no the problem ma liver no na amano enya problem yes
hey serious ti nene em so waka courses no
yeah
ti kwan be na be fa so abo ye ho ban free or how I dey ebebre ye liver.
Yes, ye very important. Basic exercise be also I'll be to me aye. Some natural leafy fruits be also I would dear bois liver very much because it be was some special antioxidants home a bois liver no ne cells are able who deni na ne mani nya hoden. It is a to me reduce so excess fat no na liver ni nye ejuma bebre a ma ahoden liver no na face so say you kind of viral way na viral hepatitis na onye vaccinated with the vaccine for hepatitis B and all the rest na me stress say o be to American tentem so na wawo vaccine no na born ho ban free the viral infection no me pa chew say o vaccine na eno ne nkyere say ontimi nya hepatitis because ya chemu say your viral hepatitis until lifestyle no so be poor utumi enya hepatitis yes
nti ya se ba so ya na say signs and symptoms
yes one major thing I be when say obenya bloatedness oyefo no ebe share because liver no produce bile was say boa with digestion nti sisi and ntimi produce ni ye it be when say untimi nya good digestion now unya indigestion a lot now obo hihyew in some cases no urine no so color na sesa na it say cola we there sorry to say o feces so and also so esme sesa na and also a dark color dark color yes and all these things no your signs are better afi so obo we say we be a friend aquagenic pruritus na ho kekao ha bi wa ha unjare kra still na ho kekao bi so ha nso ka no ho a na ne ho keka no che say fia ba woni pedua no ma liver no pese eyi frame severe cases kra no utumi nya de friend hyperbilirubinemia na che say jaundice we ni no yellowish because bilirubin ne ade bia ni pedua no ehia at some point is answer say use red blood cell e break it down we are bilirubin na we say free ni pedua no
okay
and liver no na yes ejuma no nti say liver ho touch ma ntimi yi na akwasettle we ni no so nti wo we say we ni no aye yellowish bizo ha na ne bo phone no na ofe ni nyina no signs are bechiro abdominal pain ubenya pain so be bia yes liver na located no ni nyina no signs are bechiro
ti say ba C4C
yes say if you have that say about C4C first thing I was say the baseline investigation no amount was see who say other say when you problem with the liver and as say afeina start here you who say o such problem and ya to your boss ahwe other organs nimo na ya hwe the severity of the symptoms in some cases no ebia na scar ekro na babada liver no ho in some cases kra na ebia enyi akwakoye cancerous nti ya say you stage kra ewo you hu ni nyina wi a na ya to your boss na ya ma special diet plan aka ho na obo say liverton so esi ha liverton your special formula yedi ama liver no nko containing almost about 300 ingredients and ejuma about 500 functions send ya me kan enye se wo liver problem nko na betimi afa so far as you did no munso nko ade you need to cleanse the body and liver no so you very important send ya kaniti obasi for see a major medication na yede be ma so first time and I say you be out abakra you need it na aboa na cleanse your system no ma yeah
okay nti say what problem or any problem out me no
yes
and the only problem nenom ne say na the problems nenom ne say
oh yes any problem I wait me animal no 5 ml that's teaspoon one daily so what problem then we look at the severity na ya just the person no amount yeah
There's a one to be for open no.
There be. We have to hear special advice and counseling on that. And then of course, your diet plan is very important because you can say you do especially if you be our liver problem. Only coins obedi your ma a compound problem ama liver no. Na inflammation outdoors. Inflammation does one liver per se. Na or bremo. Yes, diet plan is very important.
Yes, baby, I see for see war na fe contacts.
Yo, that's Yankopon Adom C4C were all over Ghana, Ghana and to some extent some parts of Europe. Ghana had the ocean a central region and pacho ya Cape Coast, Green Hill, opposite Addison Square Garden. Yes, also a branch or Agona Odobin, also a branch or Agona Swedro. Now over a Kumasi so I were just so Kwamo, Jachi Junction. Takra this also your Fejai, opposite Fejai, May Spot. Now Accra had your Denta SDA Junction. Yeah, Juma from Mondays, Ekosi Saturdays. You start Juma exactly 7 a.m. near upon 5 p.m. Pacho services no any drone kwa. You special advice in terms of diet, exercise. We saw how was we are about to your boss and I show the obit me. I need any quince we na. Stress sell per location no baby ana be a diamawa number me to go fra 24/7. You bejo so na me strebium say if you are ready for me. This month, hepatitis month, you know, you two a free screening. Okay. I'm a OBBI of a basi for C. And one of my number no 050 0040 331 050 0040 331 and I say 050 00 328 050 0040 328 C4C Homeopathic Hospital. Ya GN need the treatment plans in it. Today, I ask my can say once treated, forever treated. Ya do we be asked.
Yeah, that's it. Pa Dr. George Siama Jr. and I attend and can C4C Homeopathic Clinic. And what's it one can me come round here bar. It was so. Adom TV, Badwam Jumedino, so media fear. Amankwa Tamaklo na Fasedama Franco Trading Enterprise phones papa. If ye any ho say open Nokia, Samsung, iPhones, if you ho open fridge, tabletop, open air condition, Franco air conditioner, and in so Franco Trading Enterprise, one more be CCTV camera non so. The Sokojo de Faba office if ye a Biaunambia no Uhunia air coso ho. Franco Trading Enterprise, your bonnet runners of phones, papa fee no ho, any accessories bibia. The number me nu pe ene number ko internet ne so ko phone number bia dia ene edia yo tie Franco number 0246 422338 0246 422338 and 0555 939311 0555 939311 now on the Franco Trading Enterprise akasa anope menya kwanya no Dr. Penina ankasa ba obadia na uhu say opening watutu ne nande ene yebedi nkomo because ono ne nyameso ne da ya ode atanaye kese ba heba center ana hospital ebaye ti Dr. Ba ewa ha doga no pe mo ache na bia bokode ode o won mp tu pie dia ne se ne adwuma no emukura na ekuna mgidi ye se adwuma mu so ye
nyankopon ene mo adawro
ai kumase de na community
Accra
sprinters 18 junction na she
18
ni mu pepepe na se na adwuma ekọ kakra ebefa ya kan ba de a enompe no sa ntie ni nkomo ebi a obi atidini no on she da hu no so doctor no alete hentie fi ono ana no do yentie o
ma me no kwasam se ye chia atiefo ne ahwefo na de bia ka kire nkranfo se nyankopon onhira wo ne ntia ne ye kan sa ne se ye ba ye na nka homa nsomu a sa nka free tete besin ne ka ya ntume antena kurom ha but in crime for assume ye ho e ba homa che be 3 o'clock na ha ye ma was a chires adwuma papa ye de som Ghana fo na ya ne ntum futuro nso ngu nkrofo ani ana ni pa bibiri bisa se Dr. Ba o secret ne sen ye secret pa ye no kridi ye de som ya yarefo nipa bibiri obeka cha se me kotoa wonai obewie na kase na akoto si ba bi foforo para oba banso ye ya de bia yitu nkrofofo se nie ntia wo so wo twere ban number good dare na wo twere good bible mu no opono ano ne se and the taisi ya be asan betumi ato nua bi betumi ato adamfo betumi ato maame na ne nemu bu foforo na maame no kwasem ewo mu ne se me se no kwasem ewo mu ne se wantie asam a me ken na wokofa asam foforo bi a obi edi mfuturo begu ani so obi nan mu bu pen ana ne nsa ana ne kasa ba bi abu a na se di bosome nson ekwa wo de abibiduro to a entoa bi
okay
enunti na wasa wo twere ban namba no eto wo pona no se be ya ameto wo mpo na beto wo nua bi a obehu ba bi a obekere no na be ye kwan papa edo obi tumi ba ya so ye maame ne nan no nyankopon bo ne nan ne bi nyetia bara odi ko ba bi na kase na kosi ba bi na fe ne nan na akoye 3140 uye ni bibi eyeyi sa tamu na fe na gisi ye tu ye bofi so talapi ni kwan twa bebrebe nti de bi ara me ka kire nkrofo se tie papa na fa papa no preko o fa papa preko a wonni haw enti wo ba ya so ye ho a ye sheda ye bed ayi ward a ye ma ne mema de se wo situation ni ye ne a ye hwa wontumi nkoma na kire se ye beka be mema wa bi ada ne ya to ye bo atruti enti wo ba wie no ka se na abu no ka kire obi se wo na mu abu da kra o njindi no kwasam se adwuma papa ba ye enti no de bia ye ku ye nim maame ene ade ba ko a yesan kofa yesese me ne ma ya me doctors na ewo ho no yakofa medical doctors no bi abeka ye ho enti bosomi bia niema bia yenhye dante ase esan se ye wa bibiduro no na kwan a ye befa so ye betwiti nipa no ama na yare bia na ne atumi akire se bosomi miensa na otwe ba ko na edi behwe yare ni nti no ene edi mfidi abehwe ye duro ni nyina ha ho den ndi se wo ba yetumi kyerɛ wo sɛ wo yare ya wo de abahi bosome miensa ana na awotwe ana bosome mienu ene ye de behwe wo ne ya kyerɛ wo ni nyina mu ɛya na bebre busa sɛ wo ba ban so ya bibiduro no ba ya ne de wasa wo nan so no ente sa wo na ebubuo wo ye denyo wo ba laughs ne mfidie wo se ye de cheke ne ye hwe ba bi ya damage no wo kase ye wo ye na mu eye mienu ebi wa na ketwa no na abu ebi wo so na ye kese no enti na me ka kire wo na no pa wo wutie me se wo nkase yare ya enye se wo sori ye obi ka se me hwe kase ya ye de begugu TV so na wonya hu san na na odimnika ko obokwa ko tu sika atu agu mami obi ebusa me sa no pe na spinal cord doctor say mu abibi me ye den na ya hwe no oba ya so ye ya ye de ne ye de ahaban e na wasa so ebi won so aye de to so ne ye de bandage afa so kama enti ba bi e kwan ne deda ne nyina no se ye de to wa obi se ho ne nyina ba bi mu abibi no obi se astate na keka si ani enti sa na ne ye de wa kofisofo no nti omo ye nyina no mo kankasa ni si so na ahaban na eboa nti acha ye nansa na nan obi wa se nipa na sori se poma no okuta bo so wato poma na twene na bebre busa se omo ba omo so omo se ba ansa nkyere ni enye ba ansa nkyere ni ya haban ne abibiduro no pe ene edi adwuma o ya so ye operation ye nye bibibia ya mfa sekan anasa pane wo bia wo ya so ye se ebia ye babia ebetumi de pane ya wo ye babia ye lab no ebia ne ye twa moja ahwe yarwa hodo a ewom ehope but wo free ho a apam fro ho no ade bia ni ho a eye abrofo ade bia wo ho ne aka ni nyina ya bibiduro ene ye de be toato anipadua no ma me ndo bi tie mu opagya ne nsa empagya ne nyina na se baako ade kye ye no na ne nsa no opagya baako enyeye baako de atumi kosoro kama wo ba ya so ya ye de nansa na nan ne ye de aye na wonsa no betumi apagya ye nsa ne wo pesa wo ye awoyi ba ye kofo bebre yare o yare aye sabe sasabro anaso rheumatism ama wo dan na osore ye nsore o ye no ho hwe yeye na no ma me bi oba me ho oso ko maram bi ho maram no say ya duto because of sasabro no e be sew ha efiri wa na be sew ha efiri wa na be sew ha ndi enenam yasa se enam moja ni mu no nti no ono nso so agye atum se eye sunsun yare maram di na no tua no so yi mpane mako 70 ena bi bisa ne se mpane 70 no yi ya no ena sa pane no wo widi ba ko pekura wo widi mu a wo be de no wanante eye ndada ena obisa se after so otwe mpane no ho atowana o se da bi ena se eye ndada asam eye sasabro ena edu ye o se de ene sasabro a ono betumi aye me sa ena se ma me wo de nya abotre ena ye ma waduro na wo twe sende oba wa ba be di ho adanse oba ye na mi bisa nsama me na yare no wo he o se atu ayira na yese mo de aduro na ye adwuma nti aduro na ewo mo no eno na akoyi saade no ye mfa suman bia ye adwuma wa yaso ye me mata disini me so me nyankopon oje nyamidi but odi tumi ni ahoden aduadua nnuanu nti o se ye ndi aduaba no ne mfa ahahan ne ndubena no ensa ye ho yare ayi onyankopon asam a okan ma me na no nyankopon busa Ezekiel say o se Ezekiel enti no mpene nkasa nyina betumi anyankwa na o se urade nyankopon wo pe na winim but wo ba Ghana ha onyankopon de ye no mpene ye nkasa no adan Dr. Ban enti me se o de adan Dr. Ban enti se wo mpene wo kasa ba bi tichema babi ya wasa wo kwa ye ban he aso ye kuma Accra ye wo Spinters 18 junction ena kuma se ye wo Atonsu agogo ya so ye ne ye mienu pe emo obi ankotu mfuturo ngu wani se na se yesi obi teka so a se oye Dr. Ban wo ho na Dr. Ban nduro na bi no obeje mesrew ya so ye yemfa ye nuro nko ba bia ba bia ni ho pharmacy bia ne drugstore bia ni ho yedi ya duro ekoho gisa wo ba ya so ye pe esanse nkase yare na any one formality ninti eni ba bi fa ho ena nkase yare na ye wonu eba bebre a ema kase ho tumika ebi ti so obi okro beba na diabetes ena aya no nti ama ne nkase ne ha no obi wo ho beba no some arthritis obi dey rheumatism niema bebre ya number na 0244 988 004 0244 988 004 and maybe I will hear Dr. Ban and then me free have me cost Spinters 18 junction we drew her taxi station for na wo no but almost wo ba ban so ye no kwasam say onyankopon be fa so ahira wo na waboa ma wanigye awie opeye ya me hira wo say wo tie ya no so
ya da senti no mpemu de na do ani akire ban heba hospital na on ahwo ma ho ato
zama otwedi ampo onyankopon na wabo hen ho ban awo hen ezi hen ebesi ende no asamara nyina kwa so nko babedwuma wo sepe jumezido na I also for the Fantido president for the Brothers and Sisters Association na menyorika says a video ye hwe sisiare 10 million views menyorika say oye na see ni music video asedano 10 million in 1 year no when you 10 million views like that's hey na watch on one way obonse me obonse manasi because nasi why ejuma papa ye shape na track recorder hit songs so ukrom ha de bebebe ni nyina no na nsan no wom ozno sa tumo ye kama bibia ye kama ende da na ye care uncle ata na ye hwe nyuma music afo ye ya mete nyuma na mese no sing after all these years nasi o ejuma pa o nasi into no and Asedano is a beautiful song. Na you can say 10 million views in 1 year. Then congratulations Kasepa Uncle Ma Nasi Yerke na Yadahwa Yerstragana for one share video no a man, one quadrana one share video no man. Na untum na onya more money for new projects. Akesaka say into Mufam Brehen. Na yentum na yensu enjoy ye because oh yeah na investor. We investment some catch we investment in your streams no. It's say a investor forget about it. On yes can find your for ya to there was always studio for you use the cheap papa into no za ye benya updates be benya every na si hobia no yes ba bronze and pay congrats can say uncle mano the mara congratulations can so uncle man hen Ghana phone so the yetum na ye stream enyomo no we tum na wa hit 10 million views on YouTube ye free hono man na me we the flick is the new song be about china enyum na rebo china na enyum no na title na ya dada na me take kakra na order to honom no enyum no e jam or ye jama or san e jamest into no woman ye embrace ye no ho da Friday or be kweku flake is a new wareba dada take kakra no to honom no na yensan ye embrace sia ono ha samara nye no chioma I love you no ya dada o ya dada na zo oya mdaw pa wanyum no honye high life no masa yarko yazro ko no for my hand so se hwa kim paluta ne nyum makoma na ti ja China phone no wo wan jimu mo China fui mo woro to nyum ye nyi high life no ye zelo ko na sa China so mu za me ya shop ade wi aso bia bo so mama hen na wo so ma hen so za Ghana you can't stop us into no obi ara ofi de we zie nyim kan bia no o ma na ija hwe na yerba atasa hwe jiwenyu ozi na hwe yerba ye free ho no mo na ye ntu ahia na samodo eno baroni wakan sembi pocho wompie na mbram wompie no baroni mbram wompie na mbram na eno richirem a pa do beje na ejuma hoye wo Ghana de wakade o katsina bo chi permanent lazy onto moye na mazan na you know it's coming at a time I hear a lot of Ghanaians worry to kwan Ghana fo wala bokal to kwan wala kwa brochi wala ka pejuma ye wo chirema system no munye I had a like chere ejuma na be so wonyi mfifra nya hin bia da na eno baro ni richirema onya nko baby a da bi so obokokra na vacation bi na orukọ na wa bada pa do ka katina hoze da bi onyi na time no ontum na kan katina abrochirdam inti no no baroni na oze da mansam no oze atugwa na America abrochiri sami mamumfa inaki mu wanza no fon wo ai Inaki Williams na maame na papa wanante desert do kopoy abrochiri mem wo chirema za wo fom wo desert no do mpo ansa na wo kopoy mu abrochiri no onye small Spain na wo onya small nke woye po we wo kwando na so no determination na wonyen da abrochi na yere kwanti no oho na yere katina ko bobrenti no obomozin okoduru ho obomozin okoduru ho na okodu ho no so no we bien Inaki Williams ina Nico Williams amenyo kase wona bien nyina a chere mframa bien no ball boze wo fa na kwa Eko Athletic Bilbao for fashion ball a wo bo hwan anya ball ketwa Inaki zinya ye hu na skills wa Ghana ha because onye na abobo kakra abo Black Stars na Nico ba man kada mpocho ka fa desert musraw e bo kwa afọ kwan papa do nako ai illegal migrations de bi atwam wo Yesu zinu mo ate inte no say picture yo de dia Nico Williams no onye Inaki Williams na onye hwana maame na wadado no into no you know why they're back to our roots what kwana wo fodo was go pay Spain honum na wo san ka gina ho na wo twa picture in 2014 and wo twa them picture yi wo honum into no maka story e bi no maza bom amo kwar na wasa mara nyina ai fanda mara no festival ati yo menka illegal migration no ibutu mewo yo ye festival na yentwedo na yertwedo America say yako University of Ghana SRC elections na orbado no oya entertainment personality we you need to ho coming after Gempa president Samini na oya hwana na America say original for president SRC president or University of Ghana oya hiarankasa henu guru na original for SRC president guru listen all no Maradona Ajay Yeboa guru niziningen Maradona Ajay Anaoye Yeboa niziningen into no onye abrant ofan Jeffrey Edu Yeboa we enuanum ana oye wakede we enuanum o into no guru J-Lit na waka wonatama no president vice president na original for elections you know nyashi or entertainment personality yazi me a campaign kakra man want to vote for guru no wasa mara you want to mo ba be edwuma ba bibia clear guru a nice person minyim no a nice person into no UJ or leadership qualities kama want to informa guru no ontum na ombaye president into no yemfri ho na yensa no hwe na stories nya wa picture ma mu botoli na mo ai men ha ho onye video mu botoli no pepe yankwo hwe 1980s no o Ghana hade mosima na ye tonsu America da CCRA se penso ata ikita kakraba kra usum kakraba kra wo mu no binya sachet water kama wa package na kama wa chocho do kama na anom another mpono se wosika de mosima wo be kofi ampedo wosika ya no bottle water no numi e bottled water ono wo bottle ehu ye no ma ye nyi no ye ne no abra kofi mo de bottled water na wonom na 1980s no na inyimda Ghana ye no munso dam se pede tonso a oye gallon na webunso egum idu hweze wo cap kwa na akakaje moboa picture no other don no ma no ewu nti se da time na Yakobon na nkum hie na ya do bokum hie ne nde yenya wi ya tase agina ho pintim going nowhere mama kana asa nti no se da time na kwa na yenya ye nom cap ano no yenwa na sisi ala ye agina hey we are going nowhere. It's maybe sada it is sisi ano. Sanka ya da hwa ya de cap ku sisa unsu no ma. Na ke ebe zizize. Ana ye bonu munsu. Na ke bonu ko sisi ala ye say you boy boy de ha ba mbo phone lines no ntum. In that Thursday mamun throw back. Enka no na nyema bia na ye ya. Enda no da menyama no nyi ho biom mobile phone lines na to ho yen keke ye ho nyema bia na nka no ye ya ende yen ye biom ebi o ha na lantern bobo no odisuaze onya kurisi ho a o hwe no hwe people masa wonwa nyina ale say nso no ye da ho aye gina still grinding 0302 2117024 mobile phone lines na to from nka no nyema bia na eya sisiara no onyo biom da mbobo ya asem emike mna na ono ze mponche na ohen ohwo mponche nso no odenu fa na mponche no ozalantani ozaka wondo obi a wonizin na kubi mpo fan Christ little band ono madan tam na so yezam to odenu fa dam na no kitan lantern no nam okitan lanterns on nam o hwehwe no mponche na obo perform hono mponche bu hono no o perform hono wetiti bibia na owie wa tompa rest in peace say kwache we bia lo obia with different grants rest in peace ate obo tompa no za mponche na wa kan wona ekogudem nka no na nyema bebre wo hono tofi biti da alowa na aze wo hono nde da menyama ni nyina akwa echi kakra wo bemri pa nka no memri pa nyedan wana na ogina do hello Joyce
hello good morning
efrem freeing
e pa so mi free ofi edu kromo captain
ohoboko a
yesu Adom boko dan boche oguswa yensu for Eastern region I have of frequency hono
okay
boko
okay isen ka no na abazo na ho no ma na ifi de nkastla ya da wa ya nko e kama
because I thought that rubber ni crampo be no ma obi boy rubber ni mu no odo nsabe fa mu kra na mu ye tru
chade nsu we egum ma wo twutwum
enye rubber na wodi to nsu no sache rubber na sesi aye no mu nimpo sesi no cramp wuti ano na onum wie na odo safa rubber ni yo
wow
enti sesi a ankebe ye kra anka ye twum ye caps no saa time na lemon ne ade ne de twitwi ano
I see
e se mna twitwi hu ya ne de lemons na fefa no ne ya san fro hu ya san de asa wunsu no
okay
anka no cry
okay Joyce acha wadwe no ho no mda se papa ye ma bofo nto do na monfa Dorcas amasaman hello Dorcas
mama
Dorcas what then
na mad mo na say
na me na do masum hu ye nka no na abaze na ye ya no ehwa oye kama pa ye ndem rimi oda ho anko ye kama
me chai pa say na ye abofra no papa ye wadi bi efa ni kula si dem No more day. I'm not saying it. No more than 3 gun. I said, infinite hair, infinite.
I know quite power. Now, was a comfort to ma? Say,
the comfort soon.
Soon you warm. What you mean? Freddy, send me a new electricity ball or look in your pa. Yes, I actually who.
So, say you will be a crowd system. Somebody found their bad.
I bear fine. Doc asked me that's papa, my main fat Tina. Hello, Tina. Hello.
Hello.
Tina, what's done?
Don't you have to pronounce way?
Oh, Yamina don't move your papa. Now, I wasn't an uncanny, when your man called the wow.
I'm missing out on you.
Okay.
I know the cocoa chance. No, I woke up, not the butu so.
Oh, come on, Massa. Come on, Massa.
Like, they are watching, no, or the picture of you, not F. Oh, you bank, true. That man chance saying, I would channel, no, wasn't the moose, no, for our sons, a quick was of our sons. Hey, in your bin, Musupa, the devil. You,
Sister Yamisha,
bank,
Sister Yamisha, for Bismarck. Hello, Bismarck. Hello, Bismarck.
Hello.
Kumasi Bokoa.
Pansonya mi Adom boko.
Okay, in Canada, Abazina no oil come pa pedal was yes and yes start your day area.
Dear, me person ke sanfa back here.
Yes and fa baze.
Ozo kaneno na emo a ye ton abonti na nye rubber plastic one ya use.
Emo.
But ye de ahaban. Room ahaban. Ye tigusu na wudi kra. Ahaban kra timi saw ya ba na ejani bia obetu bia. Rubber anya black and white. And then we take away near the other. And no na be bree. I no
pollution. Pollution. Asa make you no kwa pao. Then point ya haban pa na say was watching good amasa. Flavor ni different. Flavor no e different kra. One or hello.
Hello, Annie Boatma.
Yes, darling. Who's in the baby from free?
Makasa fi sort from.
Okay. What's up as in the pedal was about?
Ahabana na yezido. Ofra habani bi anwonam. Ena broda habani yala. Oye dru kese. Ena mana na so amide osu amunsu mamtone da.
Okay.
Ofra te silver tensi, ofra na jesu. Mana na opun.
Sister baji two.
Ofra ne den bucket na okita sister na ne caps gunu. Nina na da lemon ankasa bi otwitwa na weetiti bi na ode egu nsu na la caps ne gu nti nyipa ahempo na wobo no anum a ankama na ogu nsu no ho wo caps no ho nti before no be sanso we ma sai me da ma obi na che de o de sanitize egu ho dada nti ono so ye sankofa we yipa na rubber na yedizi no nso onye na sisi aso friend we are saying nhwehwemu so ama ye hu de cancer ya lampun o ma cancer nti o de ye twen hu feel because in the iboko hotel bi anade obi wunyanku bi na egua ya anade bonde wa hihye cancer go what sent na okoye mu o ma he ya roba pa so de ye twen hu feel na ye ja da mo roba in the mponcha wo wi azumpa haban no say idibitu fo ma wonwe wonyumwe
I see
mom wa wi roba sin ma mponche na mwa bebre okumu ho ata se so da time no ye du okay na de hu edru ye pa so ahwa abo aponche no gwan edru bi abo aponche ogba wi biara no ye du kese papa
I know cry ya mi show ye papa ma da se pa de ade pe agimber na cheche nyimo ma che me last call nyina mewi mu fe bia bio because some kind of refa ni papa ze ba san wa ha obia wo bibi into no ya start ehun de bia me kada ya change no o start from here ankasa wala nyimpa na start de le ya obia obi so bohu de le ya no so ro hwe obi so ba start ye zindama na ebohu ye ho no na was be bia sesan asesanti say ye nyema bi nka no na so ye kama pa za ho me san ye echi na ye nka ye na na nanom na wanyim nyansa pa ata sa wo reason no wo de ye bibia mezi besi ha dey and the menu as papa day to na church wadwen amami ye me madam Koreo's College of Fashion Miss Pat or Miss Show no Madam Patience na me show we so me be say ade wo be Kofi Ampe do head of productions Baby Elephant and na obeye camera na me you say Stella touch of kumbe ino chu menyi obi aro so maso no tum ze yibo be nya me hwe ho nyina maka wonya me adom aye besana yeshia
Ahaya Adom TV 4 minutes after 8 yen come on na ya hihya ase anesa edi ka ba wo de road ya chero say ene ebenya a special guest na etimi na twetwe komo do na abigina NDC amanyuku na anamontu a wonu tu akọ etifi mantem and then ebrebe ya di Ghana so ho enkomo kakra it's very very important say obajebre na watibi but as we count down echinada and so yes sectorial debate na de bro no ebraso say every 2 weeks biano ye de bro various political parties no key amongst them the NDC and then MPP one any swade hunu on various sectors for us on the buon konta editor last 2 weeks it was the energy sector and era jinapo and the bigina moma NDC but unfortunately MPP ntimi amba and they area community kando nimjan for ranking member of parliament for Dwaboso and afi obigina ma NDC and then Dr. Nsiasari aban kasama for eba pomudi onsema ono so eba bigina mama the MPP from 6 to 10:30 obi ebe che na nisrade hunu owi a nyumeku ahodo a wo apomudi hu nkomodie no nurses pharmacists doctors midwives one akanyina no bubusa question na fe obi ade ne nchiremu ede aba you can't miss this one so as a countdown to that no Ghana Medical Association for Etimnyomudin Komo Stronkobi. Baba Menka say one of the beautiful women in Ghana politics. Oko Aniampo for page abon say or begin up house Natadi Rikwadi Kuno. She's a lawyer and she's a politician and she's a member of the NDC. Wabeka so men candidate a koba no madani DH but follow a page where the pictures near all over saying anybody in Komo. My main chair, Namema Dr. Solomon Akwaba. Dr. Akwaba.
Yo, Major, so.
Mijini se ohoye.
Yami Adom, any umpa to me hoye.
Oh, good. Boko, Matese, Munina Makobutu Kumasia, Ubedin Komo Sunkubi Kra. Yami. Okay, good. Oh, good. But William said, Nami admit na yanzu ye din komo for apomode wonsem. Na once you are a general secretary for the association of medical doctors no. Me gidi say ehun be hia say ye betimi agye wasemi hia ana amadwenche say de be a kina dwumadi no say mo ntimi antenam kwa na e betimi de mo kosen we etimi ama empanyfo a ebeba. De di kan asembusa no say edien na momu susue mu no eye ohaw kese pa ema yapomuden nkitawudi ene yenkomo no
yo me da say me chair tiefo so our Yafim Ghana Medical Association identify nyama pi e wo ho a ye hu ne say key priority areas e wo healthcare ba ko ene asem a ye ka ho asem yi a esika asem a wo apomuden ho wo ye mayimu ohwa health financing ya dia ehia yie pa because sika uyifi wa enye yie na me ye sure say utie airways so na utie timamfo asem a ya omo kana ebi ti say ambulance senia ubetua ambulance ho fuel ebe answer na edi ubefi bebia or akọ another facility and sometimes even in an emergency. Hospitals also are complaining about sika mantem enfi national health insurance even though say na the improvement abemudie ebi nso ne sikasem echo in terms of patients at mobile hospital the indirect cost for example a car obefa koho because Ghana ni yare anya ne nkwa ne yare ono na ebusuafo na yare because obekọ na obi ka ne ho baby obetena ni obedi ni obeto that sika no indirect cost no so ewo so edie no so no about infrastructure, health infrastructure. Potokasem say the healthcare must be delivered as close as possible to the people. One, to reduce their cost, and also to ensure say omenyana intentum. Since somebody took quite akofa, ye still no agenda 111 koso ebebua. Nanso no end means over all our health infrastructure problems. There were old hospitals sebi bubua. Ebikura no sebi omu the necessary logistics betimi dia ye juma esese omoye. And all these hospitals need to be revamped. Uko kolebua there are issues. Uko konfanoche nansian ote machine radiotherapy. Cancer treatment for konfanoche since last year October enye juma. There are some efforts to replace that, but that's even only two places in Ghana and yes, it is almost machines break it down sana. There's only one other place here private and only one also was so in terms of recurrences. So health infrastructure is a big issue area that we also are concerned about. Beyond that too, one of our key areas we think government should look at, because in healthcare as charity work and I say one year man for but healthcare no industry no industry so etimidi sika bebre every omai no Ghana Osha in the sub-region with all our problems no the health sector no is still very good and respected in the sub-region. Bebre from Nigeria, Liberia, many of the sub-regions, French-speaking countries bebre eba Ghana nebeyomo procedure surgeries need a budget treatment and say it means investing into health infrastructure, the right infrastructure, then we can look at healthcare tourism as a way of also attracting foreign currency into the country. Another core area human resource and training. Agenda 111 yes, hospitals be say hospitals now and your money hospital never say area. Nipa beye hu adwuma ebeye mu adwuma and it's important say they're looking at how to train the right cadre of staff to man these places and provide quality healthcare to the people. Now you see infrastructure no na say you can answer no be training specialist no ehiamre answer no be training nurse or be operating theater nurse and now say specialist pediatric nurse and now say laboratory professional no it takes some time and by now there should be a clear plan in place to train them and then yes you train your mokwa you train your monswa edien akadie be na edie ma omo a omo de be yedwuma enu echi no so de na e be ya ma omo a omo ni be gisa omo betena ho aye edwuma. That is attraction and retention. Because the healthcare is an essential service. How we treat healthcare should be treated right. The nurse need to Ghana, not what you are to because be service you or you 20-30 years kwana or no answer here and any day or better to 18 mukrano untimi. And I said doctor to her. Now say near which you know or dream one or 2.6 hours could pay UK. Abruche my Nia obeje ashasie kwa no specialist na consultant e Ghana kwa no busumi miensa nkosi ya no kwa no wonje na so hwe ono an tibiemu a emrabia nchechire ne se ontena Ghana nti wo hwe obekọ enti na nsia no watia bebre eko including specialists and consultants ebi mo okra omo nkwane specialist or more the whole region and a whole district nanso no omoko. And these are key areas being said government should focus on.
I see.
Look at to ensure that your health sector your pumidin hon semno okay, financing so, but mean especially sustainable financing for ambulance service is very, very, very important because no idea bit me affect ubia sebi the wunya accident and sure who bait me a penny and so sabreno will be a cranimo. And you know, say I'm sure I'm my young ye ama the ordinary Ghanaian. Ube a penny pono. A do some rena. Ubi a crane who say what not acquire too late. It's very important that you be sustainable financing. You discusses as a weapon. You can about how to look at the road fund and put a percentage into that. You can also about looking at other options like private health insurance. Any private insurance be a bet you a certain percentage into such a fund. You can also about how, for example, people who are fined for offenses, road traffic offenses, part of the money goes into that fund to support ambulance service. They say a mind bit is a pull and others or my say you say unya accident to insurance or won't need you ambulance befa free if it be our acco. In fact, so come and on the quiet to meet the work for free. I bet me I send you my way, I bet me about the sector.
Okay, so Dr. Richard Solomon, key points in here infrastructure and then issues about motivation and then sustainability in terms of financing matters
human
related to health.
Training.
Okay, so question is, some of these policies are buying after buying the Guakwemu, what was it, matters with infrastructure. So far, Obaka says still we are not yet there too. On this NHIS sustainability, Obaka says efficiency and reliability, ensure that so let us understand it well because Seoka said maybe any who are now say or who are now who ye a man for free hoko a Ghana air manane and also many other things are. What really do we do to stop some of these things?
Well, often it is a health insurance. Say yeah. Health insurance is a very important intervention. Abain aye. Now, abain we look at government as Ghana Medical Association. Say MPP, NDCO, HFAO. Yen say abain. And abain biya ababia yen ya famudie. Yenim said some periods it improves, but yenim say there's more that can be done. Ebini say yes, I just say. National health insurance levy yet to know. We need to separate it from the consolidated fund. So our fund no sikako rema and you know it should be separated. And I nimrano so emrano say yet sikana within I think 30 days it should be paid into the National Health Insurance Fund. And you know, person this says can be fra other sikano na omum fan koko na so oma cape says sikano ye person mu use a cape no na omo ring fence the National Health Insurance levy na omo deduct no emfa ensho. They should also look at the tariffs and making them realistic nature say and paying complaints then say Omo render service no so again say the cost involved in rendering some of the services, some of the services like surgeries, especially, it's insurance no a yellow. And you know, do na if you almost charge patients to make up for the difference. Yenim say mremuno enye. Na so sebi yen kan kire akola say enye nso ewo abonten so a won kire de baby a sebi onko jonso enye say ehye no ho cha enye de obegin so egu baby enti no say ye tua realistic tariffs area eno no na wodi mra ye adwuma na eno so atop nia say den eto na there's also the conversation about co-payment mpempi ni yempese ye beti because sometimes politically, it's difficult for government to take such a decision. But healthcare is expensive. Maybe a way so no. Nyama aye diamo maino. Other countries aye insurance and they have allowed co-payment. Co-payment also allows for some gatekeeping. Into you can say maybe say open so treat you malaria. Ewo Menshia Hospital and na district hospital be na say hono ubetua be just 50 cedis. Now, so person copy GDR, ubetua maybe 500 cedis. A bit more motivating, Menshia no, almost sign Menshia ho, and enkopie wo G
exactly
for malaria no nso ntino G so ebenya time more time to attend to the kind of specialized cases they were set up to treat and do more research into the advanced type of treatments that can be done. Into co-payments, we can look at it, take a deeper look into it. Now, the idea is to me adopt because maybe one you which you kakra as on mine. Say nipa bet me kakra boa na sebe boa mine na we should look at it.
Dr. Richard Solomon, I'm brilliant because you've raised a lot of critical points. Your conversation is, you're talking like a real doctor. And the politicians, yes, you simply don't understand the political calculations. Realistic prices in times like this. I remember when the former president talked about paying realistic prices for our services, and also another issue altogether. But the reality is now on all of us to think through some of these suggestions out there about problem be as kind of consolidated one na man so about yenti a fund that is specifically for a ya pomuden homes nyoma engofa inchinua bia amra. Maybe that's why Munshemu Kumasi no share alternative for financing in the health sector. I'm sure. So these frustrations now you are looking elsewhere to see something that can be done financially to sustain these challenges are more picking up and say a buy after a buy air drag in the feet. Medase Dr. Solomon, unfortunately, Edbesia na Onyamiya Adumamuko Kumasi ne ba will engage the Ghana Medical Association on your own. Now, if you move from questions, you know, some production team no. Na yenya brainstorm misa era candidate Dr. Insiasai Nyamiya Adumaichna. But thank you so much for your time, and we wish you well. Only your entire team. 20 minutes after 8, Joyce Muktari Bawa, I am a guest, and pay LNC. Clearly, it's a conversation around NDC and then Ghana, and Yadibro and Anopay. Loads of messages, in fact, or Tinasia. The first one is a surprise visit to all of us. Hey, how come? How come? 7 and counting months. I've not been here. So clearly, it's so good. Now, but at the tail end, or rebuke me, my friend, why? Timmy, that's for your time and your questions. Joyce Akwaba.
Good morning.
Bibia Boko. NDC Mushisha.
Oh, yes,
ready for takeover.
We are very, very ready to administer this country for and on behalf of the good people of Ghana. I'm saying, I'm in church. I'm in yeah. You know, but I feel I say me
good.
As we communicate, we grow into it, and of course, you become more comfortable. You know, communicating in cheers.
I'm interested. The NDC is ready to take over.
Oh, we are ready to serve the good people of Ghana more than just a mere takeover. It is a reason why we are inviting all of you to join us as we launch formally the campaign for change on this, in the next few days, Saturday.
That's Saturday, Tamale.
Yes, in Tamale, in the heart of the northern region. Ghana's fastest growing metropolis will be receiving the NDC, all lovers of the NDC, friends of the NDC, and of course, the good people of Ghana, to join us as we launch very formally the campaign for change in 2024.
Change in 2024.
Yes.
In Sachrai or 2024.
Aye.
Why? And I can't remember why.
Papa na me say. Me tie nyoma Dr. Salome kra e kan ho e wo program is see a mami hu say e ade a e wo say yenyina e gitumu say it is time for us to reform things. It is time say e be reset the button e wo Ghana ha. Time say e be rescue krom ha e free nkofo currently wo power mo. Unim say talk is very cheap. Na me kai say prior to 2016 election no. Unim say it was an election that we worked very hard for, but na easy. Now you were very crippling power crisis. Now Unim says our opposition no at the time the Mahama court 9 months, that's almost a year into his term. Now election petition egusu. It made things a bit very tight for us. Now Professor Mills so ofi muna enche kra. Things were very tough at the time. Now me say Sa campaign that led to sa elections, sa omudi they really beat us. What you say? The whole of the media, everybody was struggling under the enormity of sa power crisis. Na nye easy cry. Na me say, 7 years down the line, utie nkomo ayeti, na utie allegations of corruption, thievery, plain theft, and yet no responsibility is taken whatsoever. And no na I had dream pa. So we a citizen who share headlines and na permit na just a cursory look at some headlines in na. A church mu say it is time for a reset of our country. But it is time for us to seek solace in a new administration, to seek support in a new administration, to seek comfort in a new administration. Apart from that, your campaign, we dubbed it, Let's Build Ghana Together. The idea, if you say, Omombe soya name, the engineer, senior election, no, Yamia Doma, Ebeko in our interest, so that in now.
Okay, so Joyce, I think one of the major issues that may play out this time here, how do we thrust or entrust political power to either MPP or NDC? Because Obika, I don't know about. I said the Yakan Wasam na the Guswa Bribia the Yakan Wasam. Now the NDC is saying that they have the capacity now, very ready to govern with us. How do we trust these words? Say, and yet the normal political talks that Yaka over years. You stated 7.5 years of MPP in opposition, and your market you admit that they beat you to the game. So how do we trust? Say enkoye yebeye we ebeba fear in chemu fraba ebeye we ebeba na in chemu fraba ebeye we ebeba na in chemu fraba.
Mami put way in a very good and succinct way. Say unim say NDC right from 2008 ye manifesto scry to abonke na nipa say den people's manifesto. Who kai 2016 election aye ndino. The manifesto are judged our manifesto at the time as the most responsive to Ghana's immediate needs. People-centered. And we also had a very transformative agenda. Sure, the World Bank had actually clearly indicated, say, and share infrastructure in terms of health, roads, housing, a idea will struggle to attain full middle income status. Until when the NDC arrived, they came in with a plan. Says, economy, look at your infrastructure. So we share education na jina se na open look at your infrastructure. So we share se na jina amadum so idea of the past look into the future infrastructure.
Just like the doctor said. Excellent. Infrastructure.
We share health. Now you wanted to make an improvement look to your infrastructure. Me say the fact that we know what we need is not in doubt. The commitment level is now where we are, and that is the conversation that we are looking forward to have. On whose side is there demonstrated commitment? It is certainly on the side of the NDC. Take the history of all your public universities, for example. All of them, since Nkrumah, the additions were done by the NDC. There must be a good reason why, as social democrats, we look at infrastructure as a key component of development. Look, there were many things that actually, literally, created this huge misrepresentation of facts in the system. I think that in 7 years, there's been some validation. There's also been some level of vindication. But the question I want to pose to you today is that why would you not trust the NDC rather than the MPP? Because listen, if you look at all the key indicators that indicate that the government in power, for example, is doing a good job, what are the things we look for? We look at our setina.
Sure, what's it?
No.
Any baby in any was it?
When you say baby in there, what I say, but there, it will affect everybody or impact on the same day. We share was it now. We share Ghana Statistical Service. Or research or debate 1.9 million young people are unemployed. Send the say NDC. We share 1.9 at least 60% of them are they are women. For the first time in your history, Bank of Ghana started some Chesika, who can say minority in parliament, led a very keen debate against this attitude of the central bank. They were told that it was fake news, it was a lie, there was a lot of propaganda.
But that was the reality.
In the end, that was the reality. 50 billion was lost by the Bank of Ghana.
But it goes to suggest that we are in bad times. And
even then, in the course even of the pandemic, okay, what happened? We received inflows of well over 60 billion. So far, none of it, not a dime, has been accounted for. But in the last how many years, still, you have COVID levy. Now, what you have COVID levy, now what you Dr. Selo Mekaya, and now Mekano, she was certain that too about for change. Because if you are talking about trust, then better you trust the NDC than the MPP.
Okay, so that's a good point. But the other point is that walk around the streets and then especially the New Patriotic Party make us say, na yekwa na mo puyi dia, just check the alternative. Edien ano sesa ahonchira ba Ghana for ese motwe mu free ahonchire mu. Edien hihye anansusuye ano no so di tudwa ka say okay, ye wo sika no dollar no 43 no akọ 15.5. There be ye wo say inyuma no kwa nipa enye nyuma titru mabu no kwa na ekosoro edien na aban ide ato eche se obeso ya se o mabu no obenya adwuma ye ho se adwuma fo no tia no mo tia tia o makatua won se almost every facet of your adwuma bibia show e wo it wo. So if the alternative is very ready for us and they have the capacity, what are the alternatives for us?
What is the best response to your question this morning? So corruption no. So corruption thing I bankrupt in mid-year review, we now owe how much? 742 billion. Mind-boggling. With absolutely nothing to show. Agenda 111 cry this soon, say, ye COVID levy, ediako CC. Say, and Ukraine ready. 7 years down the line. Foreign exchange, it was a huge partisan conversation prior to them coming into power. Today the dollar is 16 cedis and going ahead. Me say, if we can cut down on stealing, corruption, procurement maladies that are actually currently destroying our economy.
Because you're a lawyer. You do allegations. Because you wake up every day, the papers is filled.
Every day, full headlines,
corruption,
headlines.
allegations.
Yes.
But
and
reality is that
perception and reality sometimes is a very thin line between them. How have they defended the allegations so far?
Malo, we make us say, "Hey, nanse mo nyina no kwa, ana e court no."
Na say we share National Cathedral da ho. 339 million. And this is what they've told us. Me and you, we haven't gone in to see Sesikano, Potesen, or Mudies. We still was our project. 339, my brother. What in Sika? Yes, Nkola Omutia, tertiary institutions for accommodation. Many we are university, now Senate hostels and to augment public services. True or false?
That's
true.
Senate
hostels, it was also a secure investment for Yema or more pensions or more Senate. And then what do you see? Student tertiary institutions, 10,000.
But you're unable to relate those times to this time.
And I make sure you say, now, who share campaign promises say, now and then this is where we are. Should you even ask why you need a change? It is obvious. It is apparent.
It can't be.
It is very obvious.
It is when you have something convincing on table.
Oh, me see, we have everything. We have everything. Yes. Allegations.
But the question is, yes. Nipa no pese obeyi sa nyoma no free ono. Edie na odi gine mo se.
Na me kire mu no se, o sa nipa no ana sa party no. Omo fa mo 339 million. Share cathedral with nothing to show. I would defeat the same building in Seahall. Now, without any good reason, now you building in demolished it without due process to construct the National Cathedral. And 7 years later, it is just merely a hole, a pit.
You are going to check on those things.
Wow, you ought to. You must. She's a special prosecutor. What was the pomp and pageantry that created that announcement as a policy initiative of the New Patriotic Party? And special prosecutor Juma Ben Wayamao. I would say, Sai Juma no Poti has exhibited any commitment to fighting corruption. Under John Mahama, there were investigations even by people in the media, and all of you were on the bandwagon. Why are you not doing the same now and putting this administration to street? Me say, if you were going to put the spotlight on SAR government like you did to the former administration, they would have collapsed by now.
So you think we have failed in putting the spotlight on
it? You have tried. You have made an effort, but you see, the elephant is a huge animal that destroys everything in its way.
The elephant?
Yes. Completely. Try to criticize them, they muzzle you. Try to defend something, they muzzle you. Emergency Omokan Wasemi. Have you heard the new allegations? about ambulance parts. No. Even the mere mention of the president's daughter. Shut your eyes for a minute. There was an NDC person whose daughter had been mentioned. You will be running helter-skelter. My brother, there's also a system that reports fairly, that reports equitably, that also relies even on allegations to determine just what the reality is. So if you had $11.9 million as advance mobilization for Palugu Dam, that is non-existent, should you allow your vice president to be going around even and promising funds on credit basis for 10 cedis a month? Certainly not. See, where there is fairness, we must not even have these conversations. If Mr. Mahama can cut down corruption alone by half, the waste, Mr. Mahama, what is what private jet, 80,000 euros that? What is saying the minister, Mr. Mahama needs to shower and change in the skies on the floor of Parliament, the largest democratic platform we have as a people? Certainly not. When you look at the conversations around PDS, that compact was negotiated by Mills and Mahama. If that compact had succeeded when we left office, one can come on power outages and so nepotism, self-interest in tea. PDS lost $12 million and saw nothing, went nowhere, and Ghanaians benefited nothing. Add the cost of these things I've mentioned alone. Millions of dollars, not cedis.
Do we observe this when we are in opposition and you're thinking right and genuine and so appropriate that it's like, no, this is so fantastic. Joyce Ika way there. Clearly Oba. You know, I want to understand because fantastic submissions. I can't run away. The viewer cannot run away from the realities that you are speaking to. That is happening. But why is it that we are man yourself more opposition are kama say? You talk about track record. You talk about happenings in the John Mahama administration, structure, infrastructure. That's quite true. But the question is, so how have we arrived at this point? In your time, matters about infrastructure, health, matters about the effectiveness of health insurance, matters about school buildings, matters about workers' welfare, matters about our dollar ratings. Because normally when we raise issues about dollar, me catch them who say the country itself has not laid that foundation to ensure, say, and your member is against foreign currencies. No, you too want more.
We are working, and I church you say, give credit where credit is due. What was it Mr. Mahama was telling you? That the reason why at the time we went to the IMF to seek policy credibility was largely because Ghana's economy was largely import dependent. True or false?
That's correct.
That basic things that we could even afford here, we were importing. And hence there was enormous pressure on what? On the exchange rates, etc. What was it Mr. Mahama thought we should do? Let's improve on transportation infrastructure. And you heard the medical doctor that there are many people who come here for health tourism. So we were investing in what? Improving on health facilities. That hospital in the Ashanti region, for example, if when the new government came in, my brother, they had seen to the completion of that facility, $339 million that has been spent on an non-existent cathedral would have completed that project for the use in that northern sector. Why would Otumfuo be asking his citizens and Ghanaians to help him develop and improve upon Komfanoche Teaching Hospital when we have a government that has wasted $11.9 million on an non-existent dam? You see, let's be very honest with ourselves. If we have a new leader who works largely with all of us together to fight even corruption alone, there will be a lot of money left. If we actually work on even going ahead to investigate all these allegations, because you see, sometimes when you hear an allegation, 1 week, 2 weeks, you don't hear a response. What happens? It collapses. Where are the government agencies that used to do all these investigations? Shraj, Ioko, you know, or in fact, now we even have another prosecutor.
Forgive me this one. These agencies, they don't work when governments are in power. Is that when government exit
they were
power?
Working when the NDC was in power, working very hard.
Not entirely correct.
They were working. When Manasseh took that issue, now sounding very ridiculous even to my ears, to Shraj. All of you were on that Badwam. You understand? When he tried to do it recently, what happened? And I noticed that these days it's always a watered down thing or NDC, this MP. Look, don't muddy the waters.
No, it's not true. We cannot compare them.
Let's not muddy the waters. Look, From the first inception of the first investigation of this party about cash for seats, for example, how did it end? When they invited the Honorable Finance Minister and told him that he was doing a very poor job, what happened? When transaction advisory services were all going to data bank and we thought there was a huge conflict of interest situation, what happened? When we had situations where Parliament itself had reason to invite the Minister of Finance to tell us why monies paid into the consolidated fund were not being used for purpose, what did we say? Today the doctor has confirmed it, that the minute the funds that come directed for goes in there, it disappears. Those are the monies they are wasting on personal interest, on family and friends, on nepotism, on sweetheart deals. Where are all those lawyers who were singing those days about sweetheart deals? Look at the quantum of those sweetheart deals at the time compared to what we have now. Huge sums of money, millions. I didn't even know Ghana had such money. $34 million for ambulance parts.
Yet
when you don't even have
yet to be established.
But an allegation that so
yet
far,
to be established.
Over 72 hours later, there's been not a sound. And this is from the Auditor General's report, government's own Auditor General. This is not from an NDC kitchen or an NDC cabinet. No. I say day in, day out. On the sticks they used to beat the NDC, if we apply the same beatings to them, they will have no mouths even to go out and campaign. They are choking on 33.9 million cedis. They are choking on 60 billion COVID funds and more because we are still paying the COVID fund. They are choking on NHIL that is remaining unpaid and now even capped. Get fund capped. ESLA that was set up by Mahama for future projects capped. Road fund that was set up by an act of parliament. A minister just walked into the house and said he had cancelled it to use the facilities for what?
Now you've been in government before. The minister of this old Somoto cannot, you know.
But he did.
But you know But you know clearly that.
But at least he dared to do it. That should tell you the effrontery, the disrespect, the audacity. Because you see, they believe that they can. Why not? But for social media, where do you think the opposition's voice will be by now? We fought very hard to convince the public that this administration was corrupt. Morbidly corrupt.
I see. If you've just joined, 41 minutes after 8, 9 Pepe called Mula break no about Joyce Muktari Bauer.
Oh, that is Joyce Bauer. Muktari is the vital name, so it's Joyce Bauer.
Joyce Bauer.
Yes, it's Joyce Bauer.
Joyce Bauer.
Yes,
okay, so Joyce Bauer Muktari.
Yes, please.
Good, thank you. To Joyce Bauer.
Yes, everybody knows yes, Joyce B.
Special
yes.
Joyce B.
Yes.
Special guest. But you say, we are getting into what they have for us, and then we'll talk about the tamale at the tail end of our discussion. So maybe you can say, well, whom all the weaknesses in this administration. That's perfect. That's fantastic. Okay. And then and so maybe 1 or 2, 3, 4 may throw at her. Then she tries to explain to us. Then we will get to other areas. So Joyce, we are back with the conversation. Yes, once we've identified the challenges this administration is bringing and continues to bring on us, that's unbearable.
Yep.
What do you think you offer in relation to 24-hour, in relation to National Apprenticeship Scheme, the big push, and then regulating the front of Okada drivers? These are quickly what comes to mind when I think about the NDC. So, for instance, if you pick the big push, what is the big push?
Well, the big push is actually 10 billion investment, which will be coming largely from the private sector in various bilateral agreements. What we need to do is to look at investing largely in the private sector. Today, interest rates are the highest ever at over 34%. And this is a basic conservative government estimate. The reality is worse. Secondly, inflation is at over 54%. So the reality of it is also worse. Try going as a private person in business or entrepreneur to go and access funds. You'll be shocked.
To call private business man so compare busia.
Now say they'll be on compare busia po.
You go hiding.
Hiding pa now.
The big push no.
Big push no would come and actually free that space. 10 billion is a lot of money. It's not $10 billion. It's cedis that we have not expended on a non-existent Kalugu Dam, that we have not expended on a non-existent National Cathedral. We will ensure that this goes to the private sector.
But when we see this go, I'm kaka easy.
Na me ye ni sika na untie sika mo bobo.
And so I feel now say nyame waduma wo be correct the office.
Who started with even investigations the money will come. Mrs. Nancy, donor countries behind for sika ba biomo. There is no trust for Ghana anyway.
Because of the AE.
Because of the AE. Koshe, local government. Support funds, one to say finance minister can say, support even for the mid-year budget. Can you know what to say minister be able to support their mother? Because I know the Obiaji to say Ghana budget no here support. But now say Obia in Bafam baby.
The big push no capture all these
things. It will certainly capture, it will give some relief to the private sector.
We are sure that the money will come.
Oh, certainly. And you see, if we don't drive this full industrialization thing, someone must say, each region will receive a mechanized agric center. Wouldn't say these were things we had started. Baku was in the Upper East region. One was located between the Northeast and then, of course, the current Savannah regions. Imagine that those projects are coming because it will have irrigation, it will have mechanized offices where you have equipment, it will have the fertilizers and all of that. And government agents, appointees are exporting fertilizer out of Ghana.
Lawyer.
Miss allegations say it also. Yes. Look, beyond what we see. Bebre. And as I said, me Obika Semfa to us, democracy. So when you say Nyampa.
No, you are not.
Thank you. Now say what is Obi in Anungo Bibia. And then Omoja to say we say na can Nyampana. I know that is a fact. Second, they wouldn't say Ghana agri can drive everything. I'm mama. They were raised on a rice farm. Who called them Mangua? One of the first dams was a private one that was built by Nipapa. Ntiomomutia say agri can propel us to the next level. So that is not Ono Ankasa said that's all he does as a private thing. What I say, it is very important. Imagine maize, imagine rice. Rice mills Ojaye Ewo northern region, Savannah. Do you know that they never touch them? Yes, Avnash is a great example. Omo pay exim funds, their supporters are rice mill. Omo we pay factory na ye share na butter. Kotie small investment that they were looking for more. Nso Ghana exim bank Samahama Jayen, Sikani nyina wo hin. Ghana infrastructure fund aye jaye, Sikani nyina wo hin. Esla aye jaye, Sikani nyina wo hin. Me see even the heritage fund. Ekakakakra me obwa me ne wo Ghana. Amukofa musaka emeso. Nti me see private sector there, it will drive agric. It will drive business.
So basically the big push did yes,
absolutely, immediately. First. Secondly, size of government. Size of government is one of the reasons we are seeing this level of corruption. Over 120 ministers and counting. And still making new appointments, even in the dying embers of the government. And no, what is so half? Say you say no so so half. Thank you. First. Then you can even better manage, you can better supervise, you can better monitor. Wouldn't say smaller governments also ensure efficiency because there aren't so many hands lying around and doing absolutely nothing. So that is part of it. We now are very important.
So what if you don't watch you and they said there be size of government, maybe there's one infrastructure.
120 a year and counting now they be we same na year they saying in denka e won fa so anka yesika semen mi se na year. Say anka me ne wo yetina say fuel a yetua ka se na yetua ka nka yetua ka sa. Lorry first they be call up they be you bet you understand they be when him say me try no enche na nye I want you to understand this is a matter on the hearts of every Ghanaian 34 million citizens. So look at the opulence of the ruling government, look at the opulence vote buying schemes dia share ho sika ya na we dey chiche just because we want to remain. Why do you think they are so desperate to stay in power? We've seen transitions under this fourth republic.
Maybe they want to control their good works.
Which good works?
The
on corruption alone, they failed completely. Mr. Mahama has assured us of one thing. On Mr. Mahama, he's not a wicked person, which I say. Naturally, he's a very affable person, a genuinely decent gentleman.
That's what your people say is a weakness in his political career.
No, but that has been one of his strongest. Me, you know what? I take enormous inspiration from Mr. Mahama. He's not a burdensome boss. He's not an overbearing boss. He's not a greedy boss. And the best part, Mahama doesn't think. And this morning we have an interview. And I was very amused when I saw that he said, he named a few of us and said, bring your responses to these questions. That is Mr. Mahama. Very fair-minded, just. And today, most of people in the media will tell you, they miss that style of governance. Give and take. Live and let live. That is the principle underpinning democracy.
I see. So, at the end, you can't say, 24 hours you cry more by a country muno. I know I need propaganda. A propaganda. Oh, how a propaganda are they? One of their flagship projects by now party no money ND IMF.
Omo anka chere me ne wo say E-levy ba ebeye roads ebe boa my see hospitals ebe bia the game changer and the E-levy ne wo he one thing the minister for finance
the way you fought the E-levy no a drag my months to be
thank you
and I'm go
and investigate sika omudi tia to roam around those town hall meetings bribing everybody paying kickbacks oh ade na say sika wi omo wi de omo so kra na when they leave office you see the full length of the snake. If the official rate is 742 billion, ask yourself what else you don't know about.
The 24-hour day is here.
It is simple. When you say private sector for bebre, our biggest challenge is access to funding. It's a big issue. Sure, obi wo in the business. Ope say see us for 24 hours. Ni nti onye ne say on sika to run it. But in me producing more export to the Obenya market. What I say, Ghana has a year. Can you imagine say if we even export by renkwa? Ye queer for that. When you say most of the things we are going, the reason I didn't say they are smuggling them out because we are not structured in our export-driven projects. Sikano mudibeya kromu nibi. Now, Shejuma wa Greek logistics chainway beyond transportation. There's land acquisition, there's land preparation, there's chemicals for farms, there's fertilizer and other inputs to safeguard the security of farms. Above all, safety is also an issue. Chef Basa Mufia Echo Upper West, Echo Upper is Nyoma. They suffer from hijackers, armed robberies on the highways. The roads are not lit. The roads are not in good condition. There are no security barriers and checkpoints because numbers no. Now who you send space in these security services are? Interior Minister Baba Kache say or the police for the mass slots for only MPP MPs to fill out.
That been okay.
Oh, didn't you hear them how the minority took them on recently?
But it came out that was not the reality.
Oh, how? That was the reality. It's because they were caught. Oh yes, I said the elephant's a huge animal. Oh yes, the minute, I'm telling you, the minute you catch them, they'll come back with a new story. Look how we suffered even to convince you people that they were a corrupt administration. It took us years. The only good thing was that we never relented on that fight. Otherwise, genuinely, who will be having this conversation today? When we told you that the whole thing about the National Cathedral was fake and just propaganda because they wanted to do what? To glorify one human being. You thought we were joking. What has happened? Ghana Architects Association cried church and said, "Nipa bako, nko ojejuma." Ntinke no ko obi ahwa. Thank you. My students catch me even now say, "So, Auntie Joyce, you know what I love about this concept of a 24-hour economy?" I said, "What is it?" I say, imagine somebody has a job available. They wake up in the morning, they have no electricity. Now we have a time of use, and the AGI told us that the biggest cost to productivity in fact manufacturing is what? Electricity. So now when you go to bed at night, we would then pass on this extra electricity to them. You heard our minister that now what? We are exporting what? Electricity. If not for the fact that Mr. Muhammad left and thought ahead of his time that Dumso would need new infrastructure for us to prevent, do you think today you'll be exporting power and collecting the foreign exchange? Ghana gas alone saves us $300 million now in gas imports. Look at the jobs it creates. I've heard that nepotism to say bed any breakfast.
You've heard it.
So don't be from the grapevine. You know, so the reality is probably even worse. So this 24-hour economy, my brother, it's a game changer.
I see.
Why do you think the gas stations are closing now? In the past, they used to open till 12. Maybe when you were school, now trade fair and go home go ejuma.
But my wife say demand driven.
I'm Americano.
When there's no demand, why are you going to
provide the service and see if demand will not follow?
We should
Cities were built because you provided something and a village grew around it. That is how, look, economics has two curves. There's one that goes up, one that comes, and the one that meets in the middle. We all went to school, we read economics for a while. When Uncle Parkway told all of us that this was textbook economics, you people thought it was a lie. Today, why are they not delivering the lectures? Please, ask him to come and deliver a lecture for you.
He wants a debate.
With who? Because he has nothing else to offer.
I saw your release. I was surprised.
Let him come to you and debate you. No. You like this, your questions that you have 300 questions.
No.
Even on the investigation from the...
No, but I saw your release.
Of course. In 2020, when they didn't debate, did they not win? In 2016, when they didn't debate, did they not win?
But
who called them to street proof? But you and I know that some of them debate, they man cry. Me cry can debate about me for free. If you want, let's bet.
What?
Yes, let's bet. Oh, why? She was sitting the camp. As I'm speaking, you can tell that I'm not lying. If I've told one lie or said anything that is fake, tell me. You see, it is also the convictions with which we defend issues. It is the approach to the defense.
Joyce B.
Yes, on corruption alone, the level of stealing and graft, barefaced thievery in the face of barefaced lies. If this government were in Kenya, they would have collapsed by now.
Abba.
Ampa. Simple. Abba. Ampa. Look, even reputationally, Ghana beyond aid, what it be? After the so that they be a legacy once a year. Baumia is now part of that legacy. So if you go and carry him, you've carried Akufo-Addo.
Ghana is on the digitalization.
Complete decline.
No, we are digitalizing.
Me see, the first people to consider Ghana in terms of automation, anything ICT, was Mills Mahama. It is incontrovertible.
Ghana card is everywhere now.
Oh, please, Ghana card, when it started, this is where it started from. Is a whole debate so mooted by all our leaders.
You not thank this administration?
Oh, my brother, did you see the joke yesterday? That if you are broke, take your Ghana card to the ATM and remove money.
But say no, any question is sound common because you took one. Me
a lawyer. Most young lawyers don't remember what Cocoa Affairs used to look like. Justice Honyanungo and Ote Opuni case no so afi wa retirement. Now the court to see oto. Oh baby, you do so. We grew up around the same time. Excellent. Sa e-justice project no na Professor Mills come so pa na John Mahama complete here. And ne wo court her, don't you feel proud? Meet now say na the airdrop court process amami. Now say court class what you say.
But that's a plus for your administration. It doesn't mean that there's no improvement now.
Please, so if there's an improvement, don't make it an event.
Oh.
It's a process.
So
that calls for no celebration whatsoever.
Wow.
Yes, democracy is a what? It's a continuum. That's what the 1992 Constitution gives us. Me, I'm not one of those. As I said, I can debate anybody who is ready.
So you can debate.
I won't even let my boss cry.
You can debate.
No. Why? He said that he was going to improve on foreign exchange rates. He had worked at the Bank of Ghana, and he knew where the money was.
So you can debate the aid to the
ready now, because mine is truthfulness.
But don't behave like your friends in Parliament when the Marine said they can start the debate now. You are not ready.
Why not? Ready to do what? I say Showa Setina Etuaba. What am I ready to say? Look, put all the stories that you people were singing about in terms of corruption, even under Mills Mahama administration. You know, it fills my heart with enormous humility when I think about those things. The figures even at the time. And what effort did Mr. Mahama put in? In some cases, ministers resigned. In some cases, look, to the most difficult part of his person, even to start prosecutions against some of your people, to tell everybody that, look, I'm doing my very best to fight corruption, but it's an human institution. And so you will still have these challenges. Who actually sympathized or empathized with him at the time? Today you have a clearing agent.
When?
Anana Akufo-Addo.
Joyce B.
Boss, let me ask you a question. Can you imagine send me? No, wait. Shut your eyes for a minute. Send me mobile me fee $200,000. I want me pass here. Baby, me, I don't want to pretend.
Yeah.
Just shut your eyes for a minute, oh.
Yeah, but you know.
Hey, MPP.
There be 1 million.
1 million quite does me. 1 million me who be that? Me need send me a check. Me say 200,000. Say I'm me fee cry be who says can you imagine what will be happening today?
All right.
Oh my brother, you see, look. Empa de dawa yenka.
No credit dawa.
Yenka. Me say.
So you have a problem with the letter that the president wrote about Cecilia Dapa, saying that I know you.
He was setting the tone. You know,
I know you.
The words.
It's like John Mahama saying, I know Joyce.
But he knows he won't find that kind of money under my bed. So when he says he knows me for my credibility and my trustworthiness. And that I work very hard. And that I'm a good lawyer, I'm a good student. I'm a good political advocate. I'm a good activist. I'm a feminist. And that I won't cross a certain line.
So the I know Joyce is different from I know.
Depending on who is saying it. But if you say I know you and I go to your room and find all this money, then what it is you knew about me?
Okay, so you have a Kumula breaker, but because Joyce is really off. But on the 4th of October,
I made you laugh on this one.
On the 4th of October, you are ready to debate Dr. Gideon Waku.
Oh, I said when you have truth, you can debate anybody. Yes, I'll just bring a list, one lecture of his boss and all the things he said.
Are you
and
sure?
Look, my brother, let me say something. You know, there's something that disturbs my heart. Disrespect. I saw a headline, and I hope it is not the case, that our current vice president even said that Mr. Mahama's policy was empty and that it was from an empty barrel. I pray it is not true. Yes.
That is when? Just recently?
I saw it this morning.
No, let's be careful about
No, I'll share it with you. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned Gideon.
Yeah.
Look, let's all be very careful the things we promote.
Inferring Gideon saying that?
No, they are inferring to the flag bearer.
No.
I hope it is. I pray
that's an unfair
I've seen
comment.
it. I said I hope it is not true. I'll show it to you when I'm leaving here. I have it on my phone. I hope and pray that it's not true. Look, if we are going to open our mouths
that one
and start barefaced insults,
straight away.
You know, the reason why I take exception to these things is because, you remember prior to 2016, Madam Samira was insulting John Mahama freely. Anyhow. And nobody put her to strict
I'm not sure your persona even allows that we should go that way.
In fact, my mouth will be heavy to say that about
exactly. So let's believe.
And Madam Lodina will not even dream.
So let's hope that this one.
So let's hope that it's not true. Because this time, if the insults come, they will run away and leave their slippers.
Joyce.
Yes, they promised everything. Oh, at least I have nothing to show, but at least I have credibility.
Okay, so Nyami Admechna, Anasan Komo, the sectorial debate, the Bebro. So the NDC, the MPP, Dr. Nsiasari, Kobnaminta Kando, Nimyan for Jaboso Member of Parliament, ranking member on health, Anasan Komawe, the Bebro Nyami Adoma Echna. But I did Joyce B. And I want to say Joyce Bauer. And I want to say we've had almost 45 minutes of Ghana conversation. But the big reason for being here, they say the party and a potential government in waiting. Nami Admechna, Mudi Juma Shonko, Memendarada, or Mudi Juma Shonko, or Tiffy Mountain. Now, Joyce, now Botena, Churchley, Muye, because he will because and I say much Muji Media said that I don't know official mobile lunch anyway. The specifics, there never cost Nami Admechna or him for nearby power and what will be the message and what will be the instructions thereof.
Well, William said the message is very, very simple. Yeah, we've always been focused on an issues-based campaign. Now, when Mr. Mahama started the listening tour, he went around the country, all 16 regions, of course, sampling views from everybody. They were not even necessarily NDC or MPP per se, but just everybody. Would say associations no cry. It was the same engagement. Ever too, some media press conference, which was fantastic and very, very successful. Me who say when him say propaganda, any fake news I yedi abeto ye krum has a see I yedi ye jumanti. Eto de bia will lead a coca sem cra. And then he gets muddied even in the waters and gets lost. Any platform I will be to elevate the conversation, to put out your policies for the general good, for the wider good. It's always a great opportunity. Now, who opposition, as I said, that's for the elephant. It destroys everything in its way. You must also create platforms that serve your purpose. We went through all of that. We are done. So we dubbed it, let's build Ghana together tour. So a culmination of it will be what we are going to be doing in Tamale on Saturday, the 27th. We aim to start at 12 p.m. to be at the Tamale Police Park. We are hoping that all the rank and file, our foot soldiers in particular, because they have sustained us through their donations, through their prayers, through their activism, their advocacy, their support for John Mahama, and of course, Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. You know, my brother, we have a safe pair of hands, a credible pair of hands, a set that is going to deliver on everything that they say they are going to deliver, not the noise. You know, I keep saying, why? We all know empty barrels are the ones who scream and squeak and make noise all the time, dance out of sync, literally jabbing every day, because if they don't even mention Mr. Mahama's name, then they have no message. If they don't compete with Mr. Mahama, they have no message. In any case, look, why do you even want to reduce your campaign to one of insults? As I say, as for our vice president, he's not even fit for purpose. He shouldn't even open his mouth because he was taken as a non-card-bearing member of the New Patriotic Party. We didn't say it. His then boss said it and told us why he went for him. His own wife told us that her husband was a whiz kid. Beyond what we see and what we've heard on the economy having collapsed, what else has he delivered? And then he tells what that 22 reasons why he should be made what? Our leader. Really? Just 22? We have 34 million Ghanaians. So even if you're looking in terms of averages, so what? He's only done one small thing that affects just one person per region or what? I don't even understand. You know, look, my brother, let's stop nitpicking. Mr. Mahama and Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman are a safe pair of hands. Patriotic citizens, nationalistic individuals, all their lives, they've lived in public service, working in service of humanity, generally, and to the good people of Ghana. Nothing beats the grace, honor, and accomplishments of Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman to this ticket. And nothing beats John Mahama, who today everybody will tell you, oh, this man was a listening man. He was a gentleman, acts with enormous decorum, such a strong-hearted person, one who could withstand all the attacks and even live to tell the story. We need a certain resilience also in our leaders. And we need leaders who love Ghana and love Ghana passionately.
It's a campaign they take you from, but right after Tamalin, big ones.
Oh, they be unim say and say, you know, may I sure say MPP crowd they've almost say campaign season ewo kroma. Wouldn't say we set a standard. Look at over the last years, even in opposition. Share NDC brand no. Why you understand? We say, yeah, Mbano, we are not very loud in theater. You don't see the stoicism or the resilience of the women in our party. Check from the days of Dr. Mary Grant Bisinde. She was the first female doctor.
Better name.
Yes, absolutely. Great, fantastic women. What I say, people who were honored to serve government. People who came with decency to serve government. From PNDC right through. You know, there's no situation that is perfect. But there's a situation also that breeds trust. A brand that tells you that this is a group that is ready to serve.
There's a woman in India, I don't know whether she's Emma.
Yes, Emma Michelle. Yeah. Lovely woman, fantastic woman. Then we had there was another medical doctor, very lovely, very graceful woman. Then we had our own Professor Christina Makunyama, a scientist par excellence. May her soul rest in peace, Auntie Shariaiti, who was a decorated chemist from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Look, we have some amazing examples as a political party. Old, young, middle, is a whole potpourri of the young and the old. Look at Otobi Kwachi today. Great asset to our party.
Still young.
And still looking very, very young. Even in his 60s, you understand. A lot of energy, a lot of support for young people. They are the reasons why we are today the political activists that we are, because they took their time to educate us, to teach us. And we learn at the very best fit, because our boss himself leads with enormous grace and decorum. What you will see on Saturday is a fully poised NDC, National Democratic Congress, with all of our executive, members of parliament, party elders, the rank and file, each and every one of us. And indeed, even some friends from other political parties who will be joining us in Tamale. We are launching in a very formal way. Mr. Mahama will repeat his people-centered policies for Ghana. What is it that will help us tackle unemployment? It is a 24-hour economy. It is going to be a government public-private partnership of a kind never ever tried before. And like I say, when you are in doubt, try something new, try something fresh. When you and I go abroad and get those holiday jobs, we close from work, we are not scared for our lives. We pick up a bus at 1 a.m.
We are on
and we
to
go
the next
home.
one.
Absolutely.
We move.
We move. We go and do security jobs. A few days ago, I was with my cousin, and he was telling the kids that, you know, he used to work in a restaurant and he loved it. Because the best part was when they finish and you go downstairs and you are going to do the dishes. You know, the art of cleaning the dishes before you put in the dishwasher. I mean, this is a very wealthy guy. And he was telling his kids they should go out there and get holiday jobs. Good examples that we also still give to the next generation. It is not all bad. Look at the cost of data in Ghana. Today, most of our young people who have no jobs, they are employed largely because of social media. You go to Instagram, young, amazing
advertising their products.
All sorts of products. You go to the campuses today, young kids are in school, and that is how they pay for their education even. So there is something to be achieved if we are able to work to lower data. Not to go and tell people you are giving them 10 cedis, and when you have no decent job, no sustainable salary. By the time I became a deputy minister, I was head of the department. I'd been working for nearly how many years? Yes, I may have finished school very early, but that is the truth. That is the reason why I think I am who I am today. Because I can compare what it is like in private life and in public life. So we must start to look at leaders who offer us an opportunity to develop. And I think that is what Nana Jane and John Mahama offer. Look at Nana's life as an individual. Her whole life, educating, tutoring, nurturing, empowering other people's children, including her own. This must be an example that we want to leave for younger generations of women and girls out there.
Okay.
So this is the pair that you'll be seeing.
Okay.
Launching very formally the campaign to reset Ghana, fight corruption, cut the size of government, cut back on nepotism, work on deal on conflict of interest situations, strengthen governance institutions to be sure that they are not just working to the beck and call of one individual, that they are working for everybody. And you see, once you have a new government in place, you know, the chips will fall in place.
It comes with a certain enthusiasm
enormous enthusiasm, a certain readiness, a certain freshness. And the best part is that we are going to win resoundingly. So there can be no debate about who won the election.
53.
Whatever it is, we are winning hands down.
51.
Whatever it is, we are winning hands
50
down.
plus 1.
Whatever it is, we are winning hands down. All we want to do is to reset the button. And I ask the good people of Ghana, if you want a people-centered manifesto, you want a people-centered leadership, credible, trustworthy, leaders whose spouses will not go out and be insulting people, whose shoes they cannot even walk in.
Exactly. Yes.
That is the example.
Maybe 2 quick ones before we say bye-bye to our viewers. One, is the NDC worried about the judiciary?
You know, because I am a lawyer, sometimes I struggle to, discuss things that border on the judiciary, etc. But let me tell you something that I know for a fact. Public perception regarding the judiciary is at an all-time low. It's not an NDC's perception. That is a fact. You heard about the tapes and the recordings that were subject of press conferences recently in the trial of our minority leader, Honorable Atoforsen. You know, my brother, sometimes it's not what we see as politicians. It's what the general public perceives. You understand? I know that for a very long time, since the ANASA videos or revelations, for example, the judiciary has struggled. Struggled. Even though they meet their own magistrates and justices and tell them we have to increase our performance so that, people see us differently and the public must have trust in us. How do they conduct themselves in some circumstances, for example? These are the things that feed into the perception of the Afrobarometer, Ghana Integrity Initiative, and all of these things.
Bottom line perception.
Bottom line perception more than sometimes the reality. But note also that in that whole English quagmire, perception and reality are usually bedfellows.
Women's Bank.
Absolute fantastic idea. I am a small entrepreneur. I know what it costs for a young female entrepreneur to just be looking for 10,000 Ghana cedis to buy shea butter to start a business. I know what it costs for a young girl using internet facilities to try and start a small business on TikTok, for example. Data is expensive, way too high. I know of a young woman who just wants a small amount of money to improve upon her poultry farm and struggles to find the money. My mother runs a small preschool, so I know. I know what young women who want to start businesses are going through. So why not? Do you know how much it costs for transaction advisory fees when you want to go and secure a loan from a normal bank? And I'm sure you heard how much SNIT paid a transaction advisor, $491,000. It's in ink, signed by both parties. So if you put that amount of money into a women's bank, for example, where women come and look, I say something about my cooperative. Women never owe. Look, even when they are late, they'll send a text. They'll call you, yes. When they send the fabrics on STC, they will send me a text or call me. Look, I have one of them who doesn't read or write. So when her husband is home, that's when she sends me messages. But she will make sure that she reaches you. Look, the fact that women have enormous integrity is also data-driven. It's research-based. And I'm sure you heard in Ethiopia when the president decided to have a 50% cabinet. He said it. Exactly. That when women mean to do a job, they do it and do it well.
Joyce B, if you come and Ghana for but for your information,
yes,
almost 39 messages about my personal phones. Keep us for lectures almost keep that day. I'll give you 81. You've done well.
Wait a minute. I've become an ambassador for all women in politics.
Yes.
So I do my politics with enormous humility. And then after 7 years, my baby, mom say, we are the same JBR. Wait a minute. I may say, I'm asking everybody in all humility, it is time for us to change our leadership. Time for us to vote out the New Patriotic Party. Time for us to join John Mahama and Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman as they build the Ghana that all of us will be proud of. Mr. Mahama is a man of very few words. He's not a man who likes large, flowery language. He's not a man who has any opulence at heart. Very simple, affable, modest gentleman. And so is Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. True patriots who lived all their lives in Ghana, lived by example, led by example, empowered even the non-voiceless people that we have in our society. I ask all of you to look at me and to listen to what I'm saying, that we thank God that He's brought us this far. Years ago, we didn't even know that today we'll be having this conversation. But today, the National Democratic Congress stands tall so attractive that every young person wants to be associated with this great party of ours. Join us as we seek for change with John Mahama 2024. I thank you. May God bless each and every one of us. For jobs, decent jobs, sustainable jobs, vote for a man who believes in the big push agenda that will drive industrialization and increase interest in the 24-hour economy. We have tried everything to fight unemployment, to fight corruption. Let's do it differently this time. Do it with John Dramani Mahama. Thank you. Joyce B.
Bedasi Pise also yet to Zafrel. Short notice by Ojibre and she's delivered on behalf of the NDC. So I'm sure say, oh yeah, voter, you take a decision on the conversation that we've had. This is how our opese, Miss Me Pese, Idi and Komo, near the Coco Rabat to Bushum in December, now Kotuaba. Intimacy would be at them, Penmo and Nasa Aquada, we can't say men send Fata Fafa, Yekubako, Abushabako. You're mindful that a man yourself, anyone say a papa in 10 you couldn't pay. Well, I mean, I'm train. I mean, I'd mention a sectorial debate. That's what to apomidi in common.
No, but I like that idea, sectorial debate. Yeah, I like it. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, Yako, bye bye.